Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Arc 5 live readings. Today is a rather special installment, I guess you could say. This is the final reading we're going to be doing before we hit Uncharted territory. Shut up about me being late. About Uncharted territory, where I don't know what the hell happens after these chapters. We have a stacked line of casts for today, and before we get into it, we're going to introduce them, cover some housekeeping rules, and then go right into these chapters. So from the top down, let's go ahead and get started with introductions.
Hi, I'm Allie VA, and I'll be narrating Chapter 28 and also voicing Anastasia.
Hello, I am Tealdi. I'll be voicing Krush and possibly narrating a chapter. We'll see.
I'm Gold. I'm playing Felix, and I might be narrating a chapter as well. So yeah.
Hey everyone, I'm Super, and I'll be voicing Garth.
I'm Kyles, and I'm Hataro for right now, but I'll be several characters later.
Hi, I'm Pat. I'm going to be the narrator and also a mysterious character later on as well.
Hello, I'm Jace. I'm the sound director.
Hi guys, Holographic here. Be doing Julius and Tivy for today. Kiki.
I'm Kiki484, and I am just a backup voice for a character.
Hello, my name is Nugget, and I'm Mimi.
Hi, I'm Wolfclaw. I voice Natsuki Subaru. Ricardo time.
Hi guys, I'm Lightning Eagle Dog Man, and I'm Ricardo.
Lightning Eagle Dog Man.
Hi, I'm Purple, and I'll be voicing your Grandpa Wilhelm. That's about it.
Your
Bye.
Grandpa Wilhelm. I love that. All right. Just a bit of housekeeping rules. The way that we run these streams, if you are new for some reason, joining midway through Arc 5, we don't really read chat or donations, channel memberships, anything like that till we get to chapter discussions. So if you guys have any questions you want to ask the cast, or if you want anything clarified, we do like 15-minute breaks in between. That's when we cover everything that we need to catch up on. We're going to be doing chapter breaks after we finish reading a chapter. And yeah, we normally do these for about 2 hours-ish. We're going to have some people jumping out in between chapters, so we will be saying bye to them when that time does come around. But for now, I think we're all really anticipating these next 3 chapters that are to come. And I believe, Allie, you're going to be narrating for this first chapter.
Yes, I am.
Okay, if anybody wants to follow along, we're reading chapters 28 through chapter 30. I believe there is a link in the description. If there's not, then end me. You can follow along in Witch Cult Translations. Does everybody have the PDF pulled up for these chapters?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes, and don't forget to turn on Discord overlay.
Discord overlay. Oh, yes. Why is that
That's
not
the
on?
reference.
Oh, no. Where'd it go? Are we in the wrong channel? Is that why? We're in the wrong channel.
Maybe.
We are. That's okay. Let me switch it real quick.
Professional hours.
Professional hours. Don't worry.
The best hours.
Interact with chat. Carry the stream, Kyles.
Not again. Everyone interact.
Everyone.
Stop making
Hi,
fun carry this
I'm
on our
Kyle.
back.
I'm
Yeah.
carrying this stream.
You
are demonically
inspired.
Oh, demonically inspired.
When
Yeah.
Oh my god. When I
Just
say
vibing.
Jesus Christ, when I say carry, I don't mean just like randomly talk all at once.
All right, chat. Let's all sing together.
Yay! Let's sing Chug Jug.
No.
Yeah.
God, no.
Chug Jug.
I love how
Yuck,
much yuck,
yuck,
horror in this chat.
Yuck, yuck, yuck. What is wrong?
I
Why
will
isn't it
seriously
showing
leave
up?
if Chug Jug starts singing.
No, Kiki, no!
Kiki's threatening
But there's
us
no
by
copyright on it.
leaving. What do you mean?
Oh no, Willow's joining in.
Willow's joining what?
Willow's joining in on the Chug Jug.
Oh no, don't
Yay!
please don't encourage Kyle's.
No.
That's you.
You say that like you're
I'm
not
not
the one
saying it right
instigating
now,
most of the
lol.
time.
It's always
Kyles,
your
this
fault.
is you. You'd be the one now starting it. Don't do it. Let Hollow be the one who always starts it.
Yeah.
And you be the one who always finishes
I
it.
won't.
Why
I
bully
won't
me?
start. Because
Because
it's
I'm your
easy.
friend.
Because
That's
it's
what
fun.
friends
Not
do.
only is it
Wow.
fun, Hollow, but you're also my friend. It's like the double whammy.
Why isn't this working?
Ha! You guys want to hear a joke? Julius.
Wow.
Hey, hey.
That's rather
It is
rude.
Hollow, but not Julius.
You guys are rude.
Oh god.
Nah, we're just
Sorry,
on
I'm
it.
good.
Possibly
The
too honest
silence.
for you.
I have to carry. I'm sorry.
Wow.
We have like 7 lines, and they're all
I'm
probably
sorry,
dyslexic.
Julie.
Where? Stop. I'm Julius. I'm the best knight. Don't ruin my ego, please. I need this. This is
Julie
all
is
I
actually a
have.
better
Beatrice
name.
lines.
Best night is it?
That's all I have.
All right, there we go. There we go. Okay, we're on screen now. Jesus Lord, that took forever. Okay.
Woohoo!
Oh, they didn't even know who was saying what?
No.
Aw, man. I'm not gonna get credit for any of my jokes.
I like
It'll be a
how
mystery for the ages.
I like how Pat's profile picture looks like a mugshot.
Are you trying to
Considering.
insinuate our most wholesome Pat-Man is a Gonna
No,
be-
I'm saying his character is very interestingly spaced on his profile picture.
uh-huh. Mm-hmm. You're very funny, Hollow.
Shut your mouth, Subaru.
Thank you, Jace.
Okay.
All right, is everybody ready to go into chapter 28?
Hell yeah.
Hell
As
yeah.
ready as I'll ever be.
All right, sound director, are you ready to roll?
Yes.
All right, cool. Then let's get right into it.
Arc 5, Chapter 28, A Meeting Covered in Wounds.
Wait. Let's calm down. First, we can sort through what information we got. Is that okay?
Ferris's words had pushed the limit of what Subaru was able to handle at the moment. Ferris and Ricardo nodded at Subaru's raised hand as they considered the new information that had been broadcasted.
Moving anywhere. It will be pretty difficult with so many injured people.
Well, most people have already received first aid, and there shouldn't be any more people showing up. But still.
With a sense of professionalism, Ferris gave his opinion on a change of location. Subaru took a moment to examine the conditions of the field hospital, his first concern. Minimal lighting and a ground made out of cold stone. From the unique feel of its air, Subaru judged the place to be underground, almost like the parking lot of a large department store.
Are we still in Prestella?
It's one of Prestella's shelters. The broadcast this morning mentioned this. Remember? In Prestella, they're always concerned about flood damage in the case that an issue with the waterways ever occurred, so there are shelters all over the city. This is one of the shelters on 1st Street.
Square where I found you nearby. After a rough start, we managed to bring Bro and the other refugees to safety.
Taking over Ferris, Ricardo gave his proclamation as he pounded loudly on his thick breastplate. Ferris glared intently sideways at Ricardo, who had not lowered his voice no matter how many times he was warned.
It's lucky that Fairy Chan was also here, with so many people wounded. This dog-faced mister wouldn't have been able to handle any of the treatment.
Yep. Now I don't need to have any regrets.
Ricardo's usual attitude and his laugh were refreshing, even if they were out of place for this somber hospital. Even among so many injured people, if one person kept a positive attitude, everyone can maintain hope and feel saved.
So, what happened to Subaru-kun?
Ah, right. There were 2 Sin Archbishops in the square. Greed and wrath. The one who destroyed my leg was Greed. He was the one who had abducted Amelia. However, he was not the one who injured the legs of everyone else around me. That would be Wrath.
How did that happen?
The Archbishop of Wrath. It's a little difficult to explain, but her authority is one that makes other people feel someone else's wounds and feelings.
He chose his words carefully, attempting to give a simple explanation of Sirius's authority. Ricardo had his head tilted, and Ferris's complexion changed as he realized the implications of her ability. He looked to the wounded, and then looked towards the bandages wrapping Subaru's right leg.
So, that's the reason why Subaru-kun and everyone else had similar injury. I had a bad feeling already, but...
Absurd emotions often accompanied a distorted character. However, with Sirius, this absurdity was also physiological in nature, reflected in her authority. Subaru was so disgusted, and yet he had still more to say.
And greed's also very troublesome.
Fairy Chan's already tired as is. I don't have the energy to hear about more troublesome things.
Sorry, I don't think that's possible. That damned greed. His ability can nullify any attack, even though he has no idea what he's doing. It's also apparently applicable not only to himself, but also those he is touching.
The unconscious Amelia, in Regulus's arms, had been defenseless. She should have been exposed to Sirius's flames and other attacks, but Regulus had flawlessly defended both himself and Amelia. Rather than saying that he had fought bravely, it would be more correct to say that he had made Amelia invincible with his inexplicable ability. In that case, it would prove to be an incredibly tiresome situation.
A guy who can pass neon injuries, and a guy who's invincible. You've gotta be kidding me.
That former Sin Archbishop. Padogita's ability to use multiple unseen hands was quite powerful. But this guy's on a completely different level.
That said, Betelgeuse's ability had ended up not being effective on Subaru. Considering his ineffectiveness as a Sin Archbishop, Subaru had thought of him as a simple lunatic rather than a Sin Archbishop proper. Thus, this would be his first formal battle with the witch's cult.
And the Archbishop who introduced herself the same way. I think it's safe to assume that Lust's abilities are probably just as troublesome.
Worst of all, there could be 5 Sin Archbishops here.
5?!
Ferris uttered a hypothesis which was terrifying beyond Subaru's wildest imagination. What had happened to give him such an idea? Ferris sighed and straightened his finger at Subaru's subdued eyes.
Listen, think of that broadcast, what Lust said. She said that they have secured the control towers of the waterway in the city, right?
Oh, right. They said that. Which means they're planning to sink the city. So that's a very dangerous situation.
And there's the possibility of an Archbishop occupying each. Already, there are 3 Sin Archbishops gathered in one place, which is completely unprecedented, so the worst of the worst possible situation comes to mind, because there are 4 control towers.
4.
Speaking the number out loud, Subaru finally understood what Ferris meant. There were 4 control towers placed north, south, east, and west, which controlled the water gates of the city of Prestella. Occupying all of them implied.
So, it could be that each tower has an archbishop guarding it? In that case, that should make 4 Sin Archbishops.
Subaru-kun, consider what just happened. The broadcast just now used a magical device that is only present in the city hall, at the center of the city. The enemy is occupying 5 places that manage the city's functions, meaning that they've captured 5 strongholds.
The increasingly hopeless speculation left Subaru breathless. Like Ferris said, the city hall must have been taken to deliver that broadcast. In addition to Lust of the Sin Archbishop, who occupied it, there must be 2 other archbishops. The only fathomable explanation for that would be a coordinated mass attack from the witch's cult.
Aside from the square I was in, has there been any other commotion? Has there been any other attacks?
Yeah.
If this were a great offensive by the witch's cult, it would be difficult to imagine that they would only target a single location. In the face of Ferris's silence, Subaru could only pray that his worst fears of casualties would not become reality. Absent-mindedly, Ferris cast his gaze downward, falling silent. Ricardo gave a cough, a set of sharp teeth visible on the beastman's dog-like face, and Subaru widened his eyes.
Honestly, the only situation we know is our own. We don't even know where the other shelters are, nor their situation. However, it ain't a good idea to go strolling or outside.
Why? Shouldn't we look for allies so that we can collaborate? Aren't you worried about them? That's right!
As he spoke, Ricardo gestured with his hands, and Subaru hurriedly looked up at Ferris. In this shelter of wounded people, It was odd that Ferris and Ricardo were the only acquaintances of Subaru's, especially considering Ferris.
Where are Crush-san and Wilhelm-san? It's unusual for you three to be separated. Are they in another shelter?
You're asking a difficult question, Subaru-kyun. The only ones you see here are Fairy-chan and this mister, and as you can see...
Do not bother Subaru-sama too much, Ferris.
Ferris replied with a sense of unease, and Subaru felt deep anxiety rise within himself. Then, a gentle voice relieved the intense atmosphere. Suddenly hearing that voice, Subaru looked up and around. However, no matter where he looked, he was unable to locate its owner.
I'm sorry. It seems like he is surprised. Ferris, please do not tease Subaru-sama too much.
Oh yeah, but Crush-sama is such a meanie.
What? Huh?
Ferris, who was conversing with his invisible master, reached into his dress. Subaru's already widened eyes became even wider as Ferris pulled out a familiar object from his bosom. The source of his little trick dawned on Subaru.
Wait. This is...
That's right, it's part of the loot from a year ago. We used them too, remember?
Ferris replied, revealing a hand mirror in his grip. At first glance, the mirror lacked any defining characteristic, but rather than show a reflection, its face reflected a beautiful woman with green hair and a gentle face. Without a doubt, that was Krush. This magical device, known as a conversation mirror, was more or less this alternate world's version of a cell phone, which let its owner speak through paired mirrors. A year ago, they had played a role in the battle with the witch cult, and they had been brought to this city as well. Krush, on the other side of the mirror, frowned slightly before the silent Subaru.
Ferris, Subaru-sama seems a little troubled. Did you hide this from him?
Sorry about that, but I didn't think our next call would be so soon, so I didn't think it'd be important to tell him yet.
What? Wait. Give me a moment. Thanks to the conversation mirrors, you're in contact with Krush and the others? Who are at another shelter. Is that right?
Indeed.
As Master and Knight talked, Subaru took a moment to sort through his confusion. The conversation mirror explained why the Krush fanatic Ferris was so calm, confirming her safety. For the time being, it was fortunate that he was able to confirm that Krush was safe. Then, Subaru looked at the mirror in Ferris's hands.
Oh, thank goodness. It's difficult to say right now after what's happening. But we're lucky that we get in touch. Krush-san, are you hurt at all?
No, thank you for your concern. Fortunately, I managed to find a shelter in time, without suffering any injury. I heard that Subaru-sama received a serious wound. How are you doing?
I can't say that I'm completely fine, but it's good enough. I'll do something about it. I can't stay and rest. I have to do something as soon as the wound's bandaged. Ferris, don't glare at me like that!
As Subaru announced his intent, he felt Ferris's harsh glare stabbing into him for the betrayal of his prescription for complete rest. However, although he was being ungrateful, Subaru could not sit by in idleness. Breaking the deadlock they were in was of utmost urgency. He could not lie around obediently, waiting for conditions to deteriorate.
We'll talk about this later. Krush-san, how's the situation in your shelter? Who else is with Krush-san?
Yes, there are several others with me.
I'm also here, Subaru. Fortunately, everyone who remained at the inn made it here.
From somewhere behind Krush, an elegant voice joined the conversation, interrupting her. The moment he heard it, Subaru froze briefly, before giving a sharp shake of his head. He did not want to be a fool, who did not realize how encouraging that voice was.
Oh, your presence there is kind of reassuring, Julius.
I was worried upon hearing that you ended up being carried into a shelter, unconscious. Since your usual liveliness has returned, it seems that my worries were baseless. Is it true that Emilia-sama was abducted?
It's true. Sorry, I'm so useless.
You were facing two Sin Archbishops. I am not so heartless as to blame you for your lack of strength. Anastasia-sama and Krush-sama are both here, as well as a few members of the Iron Fang. 2 of Felt-sama's followers have joined us here as well.
He quickly confirmed Amelia's status without holding Subaru accountable, and carried on with the conversation. Although the kindness from the other side of the mirror was touching, it amplified Subaru's feelings of guilt. While listening to his words, Subaru looked around and confirmed the presence of a certain face in the refuge.
Right. You should tell Felt's people that their friend is here. He's wounded, but away from mortal danger.
I see. That is good to hear. I will be sure to pass it on. They are trying to act brave, but their worries are obvious. Well then, Subaru.
After Tan and Kan had been informed of Larkin's safety, Julius lowered his voice, changing the atmosphere of their conversation.
What do we do?
I have no clue as to why you're asking that of me.
Remember that time with Sloth. Dealing with the witch cult is likely to be your specialty. Maybe you could come up with something unexpected and solve this dilemma.
What sort of unreasonable expectations are those? Sorry to disappoint, but I'm not some kind of expert on the witch cult.
That is regrettable. But there's also Amelia-sama. There is no doubt that your heart is most anxious. I sincerely want to know what you're planning to do.
Subaru's reply obviously had not answered Julius's expectations, but he was not discouraged. He understood that thinking of Subaru as some miraculous witch cult slayer would be too much to look for. Rather, the latter half of his sentence held his true question, the true topic.
Amelia was taken by greed. Even now, his own hair-raising, self-serving beliefs chill me to the bone. I don't want to leave Amelia with that bastard for even a second.
That is to say, to rescue Amelia from greed is your responsibility.
Of course. Wait, did you just say responsibility?
Julius spoke in a subdued tone as he adjusted his bangs behind the mirror. Then, the knight spread his palm towards the mirror, showing his 5 fingers raised.
Listen, Subaru. Ferris should have clarified that the witch cult has occupied 5 key locations in Pristella, taking into account that there should be someone on the level of a Synarch bishop at every place. It's tantamount to a battalion, and so, allocation of battle forces is a very important issue.
You're saying that because the city... Well, since if the Watergate is tampered with, just one location?
That is correct. The condition for defeating the witch cult is to attack each of the 5 places at the same time. In the meantime, we must re-establish contact with our forces, who are scattered across the city. You understand how difficult that is, right?
As long as they were unable to get in touch with their comrades at the various shelters, it would be difficult to string together all the combat forces in the city, as Julius said. Originally, the magic of the city was responsible for maintaining contact with those places. However, when the city hall had fallen, everyone had been separated and sought refuge in different shelters. Each of the shelters needed to judge the situation and act accordingly, independently.
By the way, this Mr. here has confirmed there are witch cultists roaming in the city. Also, there's seemingly a mob of people who have lost their minds wandering the city as well.
Witch cultists and that bastard Sirius is bullshit. This is looking more and more desperate by the second.
Hearing Ferris's unwelcome piece of information, Subaru scratched his face in agitation as more bad news came to light. At the very least, there had to be a way of getting in touch with all the existing combat forces.
Otto and Garfield are missing, and Amelia's also missing. In a sense, she's been kidnapped by greed. What a mess.
Joshua and 3 deputy captains of the Iron Fang are all missing, as are Wilhelm-sama, Felt-sama, Reinhardt, Priscilla-sama too.
I don't know where that middle-aged garbage man Al's at, but Priscilla should have been in the city park before the commotion started. I don't know what happened to her after that. Damn it, Liliana should be with her too. I wonder if they're safe.
Priscilla was not normal in any sense of the word, and Liliana was also very strange. Subaru did not want either of them getting hurt. To Taking into account Priscilla's proclaimed luck and that songstress's character, Subaru assumed that they would be fine. Patrash had also been in the Water Plumage Pavilion. Subaru thought her smart enough to avoid drawing attention, but he was worried about her nonetheless. Constant sources of worry plagued Subaru, and he felt that launching simultaneous attacks at 5 different locations was outside of the realm of possibility. No matter how it was said, it would be impossible. There were not enough combatants to attack 5 locations, not to mention that they would be facing Sin Archbishops. The only thing most people could bring to such a fight was hope.
Wait! Why do we have to go after all 5 places at the same time, in the first place?
What do you mean? It is as we've already said. The Witch Cult can do tremendous damage from any of the locations they currently occupy, leaving one of those places in their hands.
No! It's not like that though, right? I understand we need to seize all 4 towers eventually, but why at the same time?
Once they discover that one of their locations had been sabotaged, it would be only natural that the Sin Archbishops would take action, no? That must be why they launched such a coordinated attack on the city.
Julius gave a coherent response to Subaru's train of thought. While listening to his words, Subaru pondered their accuracy. Of course, Julius's logic was clear and sound, but the opponents they faced were not normal ones. In that square, Regulus and Sirius had fought each other with intent to kill. Regulus had not been serious, and so the damage was minimal, but Sirius had definitely been intending to incinerate him. Regulus should have been able to rip her apart in minutes without Subaru in the way. Those guys, were they really working together to capture the city?
Do they have any real sense of cooperation? Of course they said that they could manipulate the water gates on those control towers, but can they stay organised and in touch with each other every step of the way? I don't think so.
On what basis?
In the square I was at, 2 of the Sin Archbishops were trying to kill each other. They only stopped because they were given new instructions from the Gospel. If that were not the case, one probably would have killed the other.
So they can't coordinate properly.
Julius still appeared faintly uncertain at Subaru's wishful thinking. Subaru understood his concern, however.
Is there anyone with access to the outside?
A couple of the Iron Fang's members are scouting the towers. What are you thinking?
Although this could just be conjecture, but if they want to keep in touch regularly, wouldn't the simplest way be to launch magic into the sky? The control towers are far apart, and the city is complex, so verbal communications are troublesome. At the very least, it would take a long time without a conversation mirror.
The likelihood that the Witch Cult brought any such mirror is quite low. If many of those had been brought, the spirits would react to the communications. My quasi-spirits would doubtlessly have detected them already. Right, that's it.
They reached the same conclusion simultaneously. Subaru prefaced with an,
They don't have regular clear communication. There's a good chance they won't act unless there's a visual disturbance when one of the locations is attacked. There's no way that they will strike if they are unaware of it in the first place, and so that reduces our need to disperse our combat forces.
The only problem with this proposal is that one place is different from all those others.
The City Hall. That building can inform the other towers of the attack using that magic device, so we'd have to start with that one.
First, they had to focus on capturing the City Hall at the center. They would have to go there and defeat the existing force there, and make the Witch Cult there withdraw, then crush the forces at the other towers one by one. Even then, it would be a test of speed, but the risk would be much lower than that of attacking all 5 locations at once. Subaru wished to believe so. On the other side of the mirror, Julius fell into thoughtful silence. Subaru's proposal was based on the poor relationship between Regulus and Sirius, optimistically assuming that the cooperation between members of the Witch Cult was a mess among messes. Of course, if the Gospel had given a command like, kill everyone in Pristella, that hope would be fundamentally subverted. If that were the case, He should have attempted to ask for the content of the gospel back then.
My deepest apologies for being late. Can everyone hear my voice?
In the middle of a heavy silence, another voice suddenly joined the conversation. The weather-beaten, aged voice of a swordsman which Subaru looked up to was more reliable than anything else in the present situation. The face of a gray-haired old man was reflected in the conversation mirror.
Wilhelmson! You okay?
Wilgie, thank goodness you didn't get in touch. It made people worry.
Not only Subaru, but Ferris also heard a familiar voice. At their welcome, Wilhelm, reflected in the mirror, opened his eyes with a surprised face and bowed gently.
My apologies. I was caught up in some trouble, and could not find a calm place. Now finally, some citizens and I have arrived at a shelter. Subaru Dono and Ferris. Seeing your safety gives me peace. And Kusama?
I am fine. Wilhelm, I'm so glad for your safety.
Do not worry about me. It was due to my powerlessness that I was not at your side in this situation. Please allow me to trouble you to wait quietly. I will definitely come pick you up.
Amazing. Oh, this feeling of relief isn't normal.
As Krush and Wilhelm spoke through the mirror, Subaru, finding that the dialogue between master and subordinate held an overwhelming sense of security, sighed with admiration for Wilhelm. Then, while he was happy for his safety, Subaru ruminated on his prior conversation with Julius as he attempted to organize a summary for Wilhelm. However,
there are several things to be said, but this is the most urgent of those.
At that moment, Wilhelm vanished from the mirror, the old swordsman replaced by a beastman, a kitten wearing a monocle. It was a deputy captain of the Iron Fang, Tivy, who seemed to have joined forces with Wilhelm. His expression was unusually anxious.
Hey, if it ain't Tivy, your safety is better than anything else.
You too, Captain. But we're not safe right now. Is Onechan with you?
Amy? I haven't seen her. Did something happen?
At Tivy's feeble voice, Ricardo squinted into the mirror. From Tivy's side, someone cut into the image and...
Oni-chan! Oni-chan!
Taro? What's the panic for?
The one who had flown into view was Tivy's identical brother, Hitaro. He was usually a mellow youth, but right now, his face was distorted in pain. Tears filled his round eyes, and his voice shook as he gazed into the mirror.
Our divine protection of transection activated! It's coming from Oni-chan! Her wound was so serious! Wound is being transferred to me and Oni-chan!
Oni-chan, calm down. It's as he said, Captain. Oni-chan was wounded, and the injury is being transferred to me and Oni-chan. So...
Okay, both of you wait there. Find Mimi immediately. Don't cry, just wait.
His voice lower than any Subaru had heard from him, Ricardo spoke into the mirror. In that smooth sound, Subaru felt a pressure unlike any he had ever felt before, and he stepped back, trembling. The beastman's eyes were full of anger, and his open mouth revealed a row of sharp canine teeth. He drew his blade, a large hatchet, his large muscles tense. He almost appeared to be searching for the missing girl in that very moment. Wait, Ricardo! I can't allow such a selfish action! However, a voice from another mirror was the one that stopped Ricardo from charging out immediately. Ricardo turned back to face Anastasia, who had claimed the mirror. He frowned, lifting his hatchet towards his employer.
Don't stop me, lady. I'm not kidding right now.
Ricardo, our long bond and relationship would show that I'm not kidding around. Don't make me say it again. Right now, random actions cannot be allowed, even for Mimi's sake.
Are you asking me to abandon Mimi?
Opening his mouth, the rage expelled from Ricardo's mouth shook the air of the shelter. That intensity was no laughing matter. Subaru stumbled several steps backward, away from the beast who emanated shockwaves of rage. Ricardo fixed his glare on Anastasia, the signs of a carnivore exuding from his body. Through the mirror, Anastasia met it unflinchingly. You should understand, Ricardo. These are unforeseen circumstances. You are one of my most important weapons. I cannot let you leave without permission.
You're saying this to me? Who do you think you're talking to, Anna?
You, of course. Don't you forget, dog monster. The two spoke names only old acquaintances would recognize. His skin tingling with electricity, Subaru searched for a place to interject, but there was none. He wanted to support Ricardo's emotional decision, but he could also understand Anastasia's sound opinion. And he was an outsider. Anastasia, someone who was not, someone who held a close relationship with them, chose to prioritize the safety of the city over Mimi. Subaru realized that there was nothing for him to interrupt. Ricardo, too, should understand her point. In this way, time trickled on. If Ricardo forced his exit, Subaru, who was injured, and Felix, who was a non-combatant, could not hope to stop him. Anastasia, who looked coolly into his eyes from across the magic mirror, only she could do anything. However, Ricardo suddenly turned his head away from the mirror's gaze. Wait! Ricardo!
Stop. Don't rush to make a conclusion.
Seeing Ricardo's movement, Anastasia spoke. Ricardo gave a quiet response. He turned back and sniffed at the entrance to the shelter.
Something's close by. Is the scent of blood?
The scent of blood?
Among so many wounds, he seemed to be able to detect a fresh scent of blood. Alert, Ricardo pointed his hatchet to the entrance of the shelter, glaring. Subaru and Ferris swallowed, watching Ricardo's judgment. A shadow rushed into the refuge of the shelter with heavy footsteps. In that moment, the patients in the shelter, intimidated by the insolence of the intruder, held their collective breath. It was none other than Subaru who broke that silence. Standing there was a familiar short blonde acquaintance.
Garfield?
Garfield was sweaty and out of breath. Suddenly noticing Subaru, he ran over with a strange wobble in his step. Then, Subaru noticed. The reason behind Garfield's wobbly movements was being held in his arms. Everyone was lost for words as Garfield reached Subaru. There, he bowed his head before Subaru and collapsed, kneeling.
Sorry, Captain. My amazing self's worthless! Incompetent!
After saying so, Garfield raised a cry of sorrow. Embraced by his bloodied arms was the figure of a dying Mimi.
And that ends Arc 5, Chapter 28. With the light novel image on lock up on screen right now, how are you guys feeling about this chapter so far?
Woo!
Delivery.
Everyone's fucked. There's 5 Sid Archbishops, baby.
That delivery made me almost want to cry just now. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you can
tell. You're amazing.
Christ almighty.
You changed that so much from practice. That was so good.
My amazing self feels kind of worthless and incompetent.
Yeah, I could feel that one. That hurt.
Also, great job with the delivery on Anastasia, Allie. The tense.
Oh, thank you.
Tenses.
I know.
Good job, good job.
People are freaking. We can tell where the anime onlys are in this call, or in this chat. People be freaking out over this.
Dying, no. Something to note, though. One thing to talk about is it's interesting to hear about the triplets' divine protection that seems to like split the injuries among the three of them.
Right.
It's an interesting thing.
It's similar to the symphysis
back. What I missed?
Rem and Ram can use.
Oh, welcome back, Purple. Mimi's dying in Garf's arms.
Oh no, not the little baby.
God, the light novel image is so disturbing.
I hate how
Shout out.
casually you said that to him, by the way.
Yeah,
I
shout out
hate
to
how casually
Satoe
you
for
said that.
coloring this light novel image too.
Oh, wow.
Oh my
So
god.
sad.
This, dude, Mimi's so tiny. Like, I never realized how small she was until I saw this image.
That's a big
She's pretty
wound.
tiny.
If
That's
that split
Garfield
among
wanted
3
me.
people, that would have been a big wound.
How much blood is on Garth?
Alright,
Holy shit, that's
I'll
a
preface
lot
this
of
by
blood.
saying I haven't read past chapter 30, so before you say that I'm spoiling, I'm not. I deadass think that we're going to see like a flashback of them, and this probably has to do with Garfield being protected by her, which is going to be even sadder. But yeah, she's very much injured and very much not conscious, very much dying.
It looks like a giant hole.
Yes.
Yes.
We know who can make giant holes like that, but I'm not going to say it was Greed. I don't know what happened. So the timeline also doesn't really match up. But I wonder
if it was him, we're going to, again, don't hit women. I don't hit women. What's wrong with you, Subaru? Blows one girl's arm off, then puts a hole in another one.
Is it really a giant hole if Mimi's just tiny? Wouldn't that make it a regular size hole?
Oh, sorry, it's like a bullet wound, probably.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
So dumb.
It's only a flesh wound.
I do love the fact, again.
No.
It's like a sliding scale of big boo-boos.
Oh, no.
Big boo-boos!
This city has, like, slowly become a trap. Not only did it kind of gave you, like, a false sense of security, but like, when we first got here, because it was a water city, the first thing my brain thought of was just part in history is called the Battle of Fan Castle or whatever.
Oh.
And basically the whole battle is just they flood the castle multiple times. So being in here, so great.
Mm-hmm.
Being in here immediately made me think, oh gosh, this 100% this town's getting flooded. It's the first strategic move you use to wipe out like a ton of enemies without having to use all your forces.
Right.
It's just a lot simpler. And with this and all the candidates being in one area, not only that, high targets being in this area, if it was conditions they needed, they could try to threaten everybody that way. If it was somebody they need to kill, well, they got all the people they can try to kill right now. It's definitely, it's funny just how secure it felt, and it's now completely gone.
Another interesting thing is they said there are 5 points that they need to attack necessarily, or like, I guess. So there's a potential that 3 out of those Synarch bishops that are occupying them probably fought against Mimi and Garfield, because I don't think the timeline with Sirius and Regulus lines up if Mimi's this injured right now. Yeah. So that's interesting. We don't know what Capella does yet, and we don't know who the rest are. Was it confirmed that there's no like subordinates with them? Like how Pedogis
they said there was witch cultists.
Subaru theorizes that there are, but we just don't know.
Well, maybe only some of them have
Felix said
cultists
that there
and some
was.
don't.
Oh,
Did
Felix.
he?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he said
he said
there
it
are
in
witch
this line.
cultists roaming the city. Is what he said.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I
thought he was talking about the crowd that was roaming
See,
the city.
this is-
No, he
Sirius
said the
authority.
crowd, and then he also said the witch cultists.
The
There was
debacle the debacle right now is I doubt Mimi could be bested by like witch cult grunts, you know, because she's
No,
a
I
relatively
don't think so.
strong character, and Garfield was there too.
That too,
So
yeah.
it just doesn't make
it could
sense.
be one of the
if it's-
archbishop.
Yeah, but if
I
you
think-
guys are feeling sad about this, just wait. You just wait.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, we could make the assumption that only some of them have like follower kind of cultists, because we saw with Sirius. Sirius is completely by herself, and then I guess you could say maybe Regulus. I think Capella, she sounds like the type that might have somebody walking around with her, crazy people. But there are different ways that it seems that archbishops handle how they go about their own events. Like with Betelgeuse, he always had a posse with him. Like he was always ready with his posse. But as we've seen with some other ones, it's not always the fact that they'll have someone with them. Especially with somebody like Sirius, she basically gets an army wherever she goes.
Yeah, chat brings
There's really
up
not much point.
Chat brings up a good point. Season 1, episode 24, the triplets trash the grunt cultists when they're fighting against geese. So it doesn't make sense if they were just low level, weak individuals.
Yeah, they're pretty strong. They've fought against the whale pretty easily. They fought against cultists pretty easily. They seem to handle it really well.
Okay, before we move on, Gold, are you doing Roz Cheese line?
Yeah, I am,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. All right, so I can be completely muted this entire time. Awesome.
I say one last thing that's going to make this more painful as I'm looking at this.
Sure.
Probably saved his life with that small crush in mind too. That really wholesome crush.
Oh,
Gotcha.
you're right. Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
we don't know what happened, because Garfield, most of the time, he's fairly composed too. And in this situation, he's fucking shattered.
Probably confessed her love right then.
Jesus, dude. I don't.
I mean,
oh my
look
God.
at his eyes. That boy traumatized.
We've never
for life.
seen an expression like that on Garfield, I don't think. Well,
No.
besides the trials, maybe, is like the closest thing, but We've never
That's
seen
pretty
this type
bad.
of disparity in his gaze
Yeah,
before.
the closest we've gotten is when Subaru is confronting him about his feelings about his mother.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say I remember trying that line for the first time, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, that was pretty good." And then I go down to the picture, and I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess it's got to be harder."
Oh, before you knew the context of it?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I was like, "He's holding a body. Oh my god."
You just get like smacked with that reveal. It's like, nope, this ain't wholesome. Before we push onward and continue, Mimi, are you there? Are you ready to roll?
Mimi's ready.
Mimi also has a
Hi,
crisp-
everyone.
Oh, see ya, Purple. Thanks for coming, man. Give a hand for Wilhelm, guys.
Yay!
Oh, you're the best, man.
Have a great rest of your
You're
day.
my
Purple.
favorite color.
Allie, are you dipping out too?
Yeah, I'm also skedaddling.
All right,
Bye,
thanks for coming
Anastasia.
in.
Bye.
Goodbye,
Your
best
favorite
candidate. Yes, best candidate.
Goodbye, best night.
Sim.
Hey, I was recognized. Tiali, are you
For all my
sticking
hard
around?
work.
Yeah, I'm good for it.
Okay, cool.
Yay.
Did we
Hey,
decide?
who's saying?
Pat, are you narrating this one?
Like I said, I'm very easy.
Okay, so do you want me to read the third one, the next one after this one? I can do that.
Are you? Oh wait, you actually should, since you're familiar with who's gonna read what for the splits in narration, right?
Oh, do you want me to do the last one, the very last one then?
Well, we only have 2 chapters left.
Oh, do we? I'm sorry. Then yeah, the last one.
Yeah, because I think you're the one that kind of orchestrated the
Yeah, I
splits,
did,
right?
yeah,
Okay,
got
then
it,
that will work best.
Okay,
All right,
got it.
everyone. Fair warning, I'm not going to be here for the rest of it. I will be interacting with chat, talking with you guys. Let's give it to the VAs, and whenever you guys are ready, Pat, if you're ready to go, Super, Mimi, everyone, you guys good? We can go right into the next chapter.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Arc 5, Chapter 29. Gorgeous Tiger. Half a day before Garfield had rushed into the shelter.
And then, Hitaro was on the verge of tears, so Mimi had no choice but to hold his hand. And then, Tivy looked lonely, so Mimi had no choice, so I ended up holding both of their hands.
Is that so?
Yep, that's right. And then, after that, the lady looked really happy.
Even having been given that uninterested response, the petty girl walked beside him smiled, not discouraged in the least. That girl, who was like the very picture of innocence, had orange hair and round eyes. Garfield had no idea why she had entangled herself with someone from a hostile faction. This beast woman, Mimi. She had been like this since he'd arrived at the city of Prestelia. No, looking back, she had been clinging to Garfield ever since she'd gone to the Roswell mansion as a messenger. Initially, he had suspected that Mimi had been trying to get a read on Amelia's strongest retainer, but that hypothesis had been soon dismissed due to Mimi's behavior. Now, he was honestly thinking that she somehow liked him. It was impossible to deduce the reason, and Garfield could only tilt his head curiously to the side. Now, they were walking along Prestelia's streets side by side in the dusk. Neither had invited the other. Rather, Mimi had just followed Garfield as he sulked away from the inn. Although he had hoped he could be alone to meditate, Garfield was too embarrassed to give that excuse to shake her off. Overwhelmed by Mimi's eagerness and lack of understanding for such subtleties, he had started exchanging such empty conversations while trying to sort through his feelings.
Barf, your expression is weird. What happened? Was it something fun?
Something fun had happened. Wouldn't my amazing self look happy? My amazing self doesn't want to talk about it, and there's no obligation to talk about it.
If you keep talking about complicated stuff like obligations, you'll end up like Joshua, yeah? Mimi thinks it's better to relax and have fun. It's better when Garfield throws his hands back laughing like an idiot.
You saying I look like an idiot?
Mimi's exaggerated words really were too exaggerated, and Garfield bared both his teeth and eyes wide open. She squeaked an and dashed away. She stopped not too much further ahead, giggling as she waited for him to catch up, seemingly having forgotten their previous interaction. Garfield found it incredulous that she, of all people, would accuse him of being the one who laughed like an idiot. It had only been 1 hour or so since Garfield had challenged the Sword Saint Reinhard to a battle before dinner, the strongest in the kingdom. Or, as some would say, the strongest existence in the whole world was the Sword Saint of the current generation. Before their actual meeting, Garfield had heard of his strength from Subaru. Reinhard was a friend, a benefactor, and an acquaintance with whom he had an awkwardly parted with. On their previous meeting, encountering him in this unexpected place had come as a surprise. Through conversation, Subaru revealed that he had somewhat successfully resolved his previous embarrassment. Since that grievance had dissipated, Garfield felt no particular obligation to hesitate any further. To Garfield, the title of Strongest held a very special meaning. To be the strongest, aiming to become the strongest, to strive to become the strongest. Garfield believed that as soon as a man was born, his first cry would place that as his lofty goal. Everyone, no matter who, had once longed and dreamed to be the strongest, as they walked the long road known as life. Everyone would eventually forget that distant dream. Everyone except Garfield. That dream had taken root in his heart, and had been a source of much of his persistence he had shown along the way. To Garfield, the title of strongest was both a combination of his natural goal, something he had held ever since he had been born a man, and an indispensable condition for him to be able to protect everything he wished to protect. Therefore, in front of the man who famously stood at the apex of strength, Garfield could not hold back his restless teeth and claws. He had gone to Subaru and received permission to challenge Reinhard. The Sword Saint seemed a far cry from the strongest. He gave off the impression of being a meek, kind man with no martial prowess. He looked like he could be broken with it like a twig, with just one hand. However, Garfield knew that the stronger they were, the better they were at hiding their strength. Setting aside his own tendency to act up, the majority of powerful people did not look strong as they went through their daily activities. Roswell and Subaru were like that. And so, he judged Reinhard to be likewise in that regard. The bout would take place at the gravel-covered courtyard of the hotel. Refusing Garfield's proposal to leave the hotel for the city's field for fear of damaging their surroundings, Reinhard insisted on fighting at the inn, adding the condition that the courtyard could not be damaged. That could only be said to be humiliating. Even if he were the strongest man, he was underestimating Garfield. Immediately, Garfield dragged him outside, intending to make him regret that demeaning arrogance. The confrontation took place in the courtyard, where Subaru issued a command marking the start of the match. Garfield bared his teeth, thinking only of striking the Crimson Hero with the metal on his wrists. Such an idea vanished almost instantaneously after the command was issued. The atmosphere of the man before him changed faster than one could blink. Until that very moment, his gentle atmosphere had not disappeared, but it dissipated, revealing a sharp blade, or a finely honed flame. An ordinary person would not be able to feel how his natural state was razor sharp, as if he were a sword himself. The sense of oppression was such that to those who knew little about martial arts, it would manifest as a sensation like their lungs were being crushed. But neither of those were Garfield's cause. At the very least, Garfield was a man with strength worthy of a match against the Sword Saint. Noticing that natural posture, his internal organs trembled under the pressure. Garfield howled away his hesitation as he flew at Reinhard. Their match was not meant to be lethal, and they had agreed to cause no serious injuries. Forgetting their agreement, he had aimed at Reinhard's throat with his sharp claws, striving for a decisive blow. and in that moment before his blow landed, his body was elegantly caught in midair, and Garfield truly understood the disparity in their strength.
I lost.
After that, despite launching offensive attacks from various angles, all of those were casually evaded by Reinhardt, and he had done so with casual parries. On top of that, Reinhardt had done all that without even taking a step away from where he had first stood. In other words, Garfield had exhausted all his strength against only Reinhardt's upper body. Having been tossed away, a fist was displayed in front of his face, and Garfield declared his own defeat. The sword sage had not even drawn a sword, his area of expertise. He had defeated Garfield with only his bare fists. As to what Reinhardt and Subaru had said after that, Garfield could not quite recall. To be so ungracious or foolhardy as to not accept his loss was not an impression that Garfield had wanted to give, so he had left the hotel with only a few words. He was unable to sort through his feelings as they were swept into a whirlpool. Strangled by his unanswerable emotions, Garfield had sought to find answers as he walked the Watergate city alone as the sun was setting. That was how it was supposed to go.
Garf! Look! Take a look! The sunset's completely reflected in the water! It's super red! This is awesome! Amazing! So beautiful!
The noisy girl led Garfield around, pulling on his sleeve, yanking on his hair, sitting on his shoulders, and he had been left with no choice but to follow her. Thanks to her, he had accomplished leaving the hotel, but at the cost of his time to feel depressed by himself.
Oh, from the very start, you've been so noisy. Can't you settle down a bit, midget?
Nope.
Immediate answer.
She grabbed Garfield's wrists, running and spinning. Wrists gripped with unexpected strength, Garfield turned on the spot along with her. The idea of pulling his wrists from the vice grip and fleeing at the speed of light had crossed his mind. But he didn't know the limit of Mimi's physical ability as a demi-human. Mimi might have been able to catch up with Garfield's escape with ease. He also had to take into consideration how conspicuous he would look. Both leaving from Bristelia, both Frederica and Ram reminded him repeatedly that troubling Emilia or Subaru because of his own quirkiness would set a bad example. The only one he could trouble was Otto, who was like an older brother, used to cleaning up his messes.
Uh-oh. What's wrong, Garf? Is there something vexing you?
You mean something vexing?
Yep, vexing. What happened? Say it! Say it!
He was unable to speak candidly to Mimi, so she hit him repeatedly in the side with an
Oi! Oi!
Feeling the poison being drained out of a body by her petty, oddly sturdy form, Garfield clicked his fangs. He leaned into the waterway, appreciating the view.
It really is a moving scene.
Right? This is awesome! Amazing!
Although Mimi should only be listening to half the time, the reflection of the setting sun in the water was indeed a bright, inspiring scene. The glittering water was stained with white and yellow light, and the sky was dyed by the orange sunset. When he finally noticed, Garfield was sitting on the edge of the waterway, spending his time vaguely watching the sluggish travel of people on land and of sailboats on the waterway. Taking a seat beside him, Mimi shook her feet happily as she hummed a tune through her nose. Although her character was one which couldn't be silenced, right now, she was behaving quietly. Grabbing Garfield's half-clothed shoulders, she bobbed her head from side to side. Taking a sideways glance at her happy profile, he belatedly discovered that the color of Mimi's hair matched the orange shade of the sunset exactly. He subconsciously reached out a hand to brush her head, and Mimi seemed to be pleased, leaning into his touch.
Fluffy? Fluffy? Mimi's head is often touched by the lady too. She pets it and calls it something like a healing idol.
It really is really kind of comfortable. That healing idol stuff or whatever. The captain sometimes says stuff like that.
Barf, do you still feel annoyed?
Something else now!
Huh?
As Mimi tilted her head, her face was the very picture of innocence. Garfield laughed inadvertently. It felt as if he was getting rid of the heavy things in his chest, washing away the feeling he was someone cheap. The sense of defeat and humiliation was replaced by straightforward, rebellious spirit.
Being the strongest suddenly ain't possible. My amazing self's still climbing.
Oh, so you're climbing the ladder to be the bestest.
Hey, you understand pretty well. Yeah, it's the proper way to becoming the strongest.
Mimi raised her fist, and Garfield responded by tracing the white scars of his forehead with his fingers. Although her chattiness was annoying, she had also cheered him up. If he were alone, he would probably still be moping gloomily. He was glad that Mimi had accompanied him.
I guess I should thank her. Oi, Midget, while we're here, how about we go to a stall and grab a bite? It'll be my amazing self's treat.
Barf, look!
Huh?
With that invitation to eat, Garfield got to his feet, patting down his bottom. Mimi was still seated by the waterway, pointing towards the other margin, and Garfield's attention wandered towards that direction. Then, he narrowed his eyes. On the other side of the waterway, the ropes of a sailboat had come undone, leaving the boat stranded as it began to drift along with the flow of the water. It was unmanned. However, the issue did not reside there.
Hey, kids!
Mimi gave a loud warning cry in the direction the boat was heading. Another boat, where 5 children were playing, the drifting vessel heading towards them. The children had not noticed the approach of the other boat. If they collided, their boat could end up capsized, throwing the children into the waterway. At Mimi's shout, other people around the waterway had taken notice. One of the boat owners flew towards the children in panic, but he would not make it in time. Hearing the shrill voices of the people around them, the children finally noticed their situation and panicked as they saw the sudden approach of the empty boat. Then,
Yo, kids! Thank that midget cat Nan-chan who first noticed ya.
Barf!
he had suddenly leapt onto the boat, astonishingly keeping the vessel's balance as he landed. To the children, the silent arrival of Garfield would have seemed like he was suddenly falling from the heavens. The children stiffened upon gazing at the blonde stranger with a mean look, a fanged smile with a fierce smile. Taking advantage that none of them moved in protest, Garfield scooped the 5 children into his arms, making another leap. Escaping from the small boat, they landed on the sidewalk near the waterway. Immediately after releasing the children, the boats collided violently, capsizing the boat that had been carrying the children. Garfield, by cleverly keeping hold of the ropes connected to the boats, had also prevented a chain reaction of collisions that would have sunk a series of boats. Restraining the movement of the overturned boat had prevented the detached boat from drifting further downstream, minimizing the damage it caused.
Aight, that should do it.
After tying the ropes firmly, Garfield ended his struggle, with an uproar of cheers and applause from the witnesses. One of the ship owners, who should have been monitoring his boat, bowed his head to convey his gratitude, while Garfield waved off, scratching his head and looking shy. Then,
Oni-chan, thank you very much.
Oh,
all the rescued children gathered and poured grateful words upon Garfield. They had lost the timid expressions they had worn on the boat, merely gazing at Garfield with glittering expressions. As Garfield met their gazes, their hyperactive clapping hands began to move even faster. Faced with that, Garfield felt his mood lightened as he rubbed his nose.
there's no need for anything like that. Happened by chance. Ah, yeah, my chance. My amazing self was guided here by the wind of fate. It's, the city of water, surrounded by waterways. If anyone ended up shedding tears, then the waterways end up overflowing, yeah?
The applause began to calm as Garfield gave his complacent response. The cheers had also become intermediate, subtle voices starting to be heard. However, unlike the spectators around them, the children showed dramatic reactions.
Wow! Amazing! So cool!
No tears, regardless of danger!
Never flinching, never doubting, never hesitating.
Garfield nodded with satisfaction at the excited children. Then, with an eager gaze, one of them voiced a question.
Oni-chan, what's your name?
It ain't anything worth mentioning. However, if pressed for it, my amazing self's a tiger. Yeah, a golden tiger. Call me Gorgeous Tiger.
Gorgeous! Tiger!
Garfield stuck a pose, leaning back with his hands stretched obliquely to the sky. Eyes shining, the children gave hushed whispers of excitement as they imitated him. As Garfield shared his heart with the children surrounding him, Mimi rushed over, her eyes shining as well.
Garf, so cool!
She ran over to join the ranks of children crowded around Garfield, making a pose. The delighted laughter of the children, Mimi, and Garfield rang through the waterways at twilight. The applause and cheers had long since dissipated, leaving only the solitary shipowner regarding them with a smile. Garfield bounced with energy as he ate one of the snacks he had bought to share with the children at a stall, walking victoriously.
Then, my amazing self said, "Now, I won't let you take even one more step forward, you scum. It's the captain's territory, and you've already been trapped here. Ha!"
Amazing! So cool! Whoa, that's so cool!
As Pristella was inflated by the glow of sunset, Garfield shared heroic stories of the past year with Mimi and a blonde kid. What he had just described had been one of the most impressive events that had happened. The Earth Spider Hunt. A nearby village had an outbreak of witch beasts known as Earth Spiders, and the three-men force of Subaru, Garfield, and Otto had been forced to subdue them. They had demonstrated a perfect combination of Otto and Subaru's scheming skills and Garfield's strength. Along with Mimi, one of the rescued children happily listened to Garfield's recollections. He was a child with blonde hair, who looked to be around 6 or 7 years old. He had lovely features and a cute smiling face that would surely one day attract lovelorn sighs from women. But right now, he was just a child admiring Garfield's way of life and heroic stories. After buying the children snacks, Garfield had taken it upon himself to escort the children safely to their homes, one by one. Out of the 5, 4 had returned home unharmed, which meant that this boy was the last one.
With just this small group, you went out pretty far to play. Ain't that dangerous?
As they undertook the considerate journey to the child's house, Garfield frowned. The children's boat adventure had taken them to the border between the first street, where the inn was located, and the second street, where the Muse headquarters was located. As they walked, Garfield couldn't help but think he had wandered too far. In fact, they had come all the way from 3rd Street. Without any detours, the journey would have taken close to an hour to complete. The child grinned in response to Garfield's words.
Occasionally, a songstress goes to the park on 1st Street. We were looking for her.
Songstress? Is that so? Captain said her singing's pretty amazing too, but my amazing self's kinda suspicious.
Rubbing his nose, Garfield found it difficult to agree with the child's reply. Garfield had only met the songstress Liliana once at the Muse headquarters. Even that brief interaction had been enough to leave a significant impact on him. Liliana was, beyond a doubt, a girl with a strong personality. However, that strength was rather incompatible with the impression of pure, honest bard.
Arv, have you never heard the songstress is singing? It really is very powerful.
You have, Midget?
Yep. I didn't fall asleep until the end. Mimi's so strong. Praise Mimi.
Garfield obediently stroked Mimi's outstretched head. She yelled out,
Excess!
and happily dashed away, before turning back around expectantly.
So, did you hear the songstress sing? Nope. We missed her. However, since we gone all the way to the faraway street...
So that's why you were playing in the river. Well, it's good that my amazing self was there.
Gorgeous tiger!
Ha!
As the boy stretched his hands towards the sky, Garfield mimicked his motion. Gorgeous Tiger was here. They posed together energetically, but the child soon dropped his arms with a melancholy sigh. Garfield tilted his head to one side.
Why do you look so down? Don't sigh. Your happiness will run away, you know.
Well, my sister will be mad when I get home.
Huh?
As the boy revealed his fearful attitude toward his sister with a cry, Garfield overreacted by grabbing his shoulders anxiously.
Come on, come on! But why is she gonna be so angry?
Because I snuck out.
Ah.
The boy seemed to have neglected to inform his sister that he would be going out with his friends today. As a result, his family was probably frustrated and worried sick right now. The feeling was not unfamiliar to Garfield. As a brother, the presence of an older sister would, no matter for how long, continue to exist as a terrifying barrier. Even after 10 years of separation, after he had grown up, the fear of losing to the sister he met face to face nearly every day had increased, rather than decreased.
Gotcha. Leave it up to my amazing self.
Garfield patted his chest proudly as the little boy revealed his shock. As if trying to ease his downcast, Garfield laughed, showing his sharp teeth.
The scariness of an older sister is something my amazing self's familiar with. If your scary sister comes rushing at ya, my amazing self will protect ya.
Oni-san!
The emotional child hugged Garfield tightly. Mimi joined the hug, grabbing Garfield from behind. In this way, being held front and back by the little ones, Garfield renewed his determination and struggled with them as they continued their journey towards the boy's house. The sunset was approaching in earnest, and it was unlikely that they would make it back by dinner time. But that would be fine for today. No matter how he looked at it, he would not be able to dine in the same hall as Reinhard without some unease. However, after a night of cooling down, he would probably be able to manage it. That was thanks to the children who admired the gorgeous tiger, as well as Mimi's inscrutable, infectious, cheerful attitude.
Red!
A deafening, high-pitched voice soaked with emotion suddenly attacked Garfield's ear. He lifted his head in surprise, and caught sight of the sprinting figure of a girl. She had long, elegant blonde hair, and was glaring intently at the boy who clung to Garfield. The boy looked in the direction and opened his mouth. Then...
Oni-chan! You! Just how worried are you going to make us before you're satisfied?
The girl leapt forward with both feet to deliver a dynamic flying kick to her brother, whose body gently bounced back. An optimal flying kick without losing any momentum. Garfield, witnessing that action, was frozen by shock. He was too slow to respond to the beautiful girl, who landed beautifully. The girl herself was likewise beautiful. She looked at Garfield with a sharp gaze, and dug into his foot with her heel.
You, suspicious person! What do you want with my Fred?
First of all, move your foot, midget.
As he faced the maelstrom of her attack and angry words, Garfield replied in a steady voice, seeing that her preemptive attacks had not caused any harm. The girl retreated backward with a frightened expression. Although she had thought that Garfield would be angry, Garfield had yet to reach a state of anger. Rather, he was still surprised. He had never imagined that there would actually be a sister who would indiscriminately deliver fierce kicks to her younger brother. Incidentally, the impact of the young boy who had been kicked had been softened, with a
Hey!
Mimi had flown towards him gracefully, hugging him and landing gently. Now, they had gotten to their feet, brushing each other off. Seeing that through the corner of his eye, Garfield issued a sigh, and at his reaction,
What's with this attitude? If you have something to say, just say it! And don't do anything to me or Fred. I'm terrifying when I get mad.
First of all, you're misunderstanding here. Also, don't fly at your brother like that. You might accidentally cause a serious injury, got it?
Ha!
Squatting down, Garfield spoke quietly to the girl. The boy's sister was also young, only around 10 years old. The age of just before puberty, when kids would try a little too hard. Her initial sharpness had faded, and her expression morphed into a tearful one at Garfield's calm and steady replies. What she had said was surely a bluff, but she had gathered her courage to go up against Garfield. In a sense, her courage had rendered her even more afraid, in an unfortunate turn of events.
Gorgeous tiger, please don't get too angry with my Oni-chan.
Then, unable to bear seeing his sister trembling, the boy patted his body clean of dust after recovering from the shock, and stood at her back, pleading with Garfield. The older sister's expression revealed that her self-esteem had been hurt because of his pleas, but she still had the dignity to try to protect her younger brother from Garfield. Although he didn't know what had happened at first, they didn't seem to have a bad relationship.
So my amazing self looks like a bad guy. That's kinda displeasing to hear.
A bad guy? Being a bad guy isn't good, Garf. Be gorgeous tiger instead.
Mimi leapt up and gave Garfield's head a poke. Although it didn't hurt, it was rather puzzling blow. The pointless stare down between siblings and Garfield continued, and just as he wondered how long this would last,
Oni-chan, Fred, where are you two?
the voice that broke the stalemate came from someone else. Hearing that gentle voice of a woman, the siblings caught each other's gaze. Garfield watched with eyes widened as the two ran in its direction. Sister and brother arrived at the corner of the road, where a woman emerged. They flew towards her without hesitation. The
Mom!
blonde woman was more than likely their mother.
Mom! Mom, that suspicious person, something about gorgeous tiger and Fred.
The younger brother held on to his mother with tears in his eyes, and the elder sister continued to weave her false accusations. After listening to the children's rambles, the person in question smiled. Seeing the family in such a state, Garfield shook his head in dismay. It would have been convenient if the city guards were called upon at this point. Relieved that there was an adult with whom he could discuss the situation calmly, he stepped forward to explain, thinking on prefacing with,
Sorry.
But he stopped in his tracks upon gazing upon the other person, her children still clinging to her. She turned her face towards him with a smile.
Garf?
Garfield froze, and Mimi turned around, surveying him. However, Garfield was unable to respond to Mimi's concern. His heart, in a state of chaos and confusion, had no such energy to spare. After all, the person who stood there was...
Well, my children have seen to be taken care of. My apologies. If possible, could you tell me what happened?
She spoke in soothing, gentle tones which held not even the slightest sign of malice or suspicion. With a few steps, she had arrived in front of them. Even as Garfield trembled and shivered at her presence, she tilted her head in confusion. That expression, that attitude, That voice. They all rocked Garfield to the core.
Mom?
A hoarse murmur escaped his throat. Damn.
Well done, Super. Well done, Kyles.
Okay.
Well done,
Good
Pat.
job.
Concludes the chapter. I was muted on
job,
OBS. Jesus.
Good job, kids.
Good job, Kyle's with Kid One.
That
Sister.
absolutely
Thanks, Kyle.
with this long narrator rant.
Yeah.
Got so many
my
like
throat's so
really
dry.
good whole moments out of this. Also,
You guys
were
really
doing way
polished
too
up
good.
these chapters. Like, really
As the
did.
kids.
Holy
Which one of you
shit.
guys said so cool? I was like, oh my god, you've gotten like so into character.
I like how you guys changed your names to Kids 1 through 4, like the codename Kids Next Door over here.
Myself. Like there was kid
What was I
one,
gonna call
kid
myself?
three,
Bobby?
kid four, and then they're just
Wait, Wolf did a lot. I didn't even realize that was Wolf for one.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. It was so good.
Yeah, that's why I said they were really into it. Like I was like, oh my gosh, I can't even tell this is Wolf.
Dude, me neither. Holy crap.
I was practicing for 4 minutes while I was muted because that line is so funny.
Oh my god.
Okay,
Wow,
so
you're like amazing.
we should talk about the light novel illustration on screen right now with Fred, Garfield, and Mimi, and then we have the return of who he's deeming as his mother for this chapter. What do you think, Lightning? Give me your. Let me pry your brain.
Zero. So at first, I wanted to talk about Garfield's character development for like 5 seconds. All right. So I don't know where we're going here because again, I'm an anime only. I just want to bring up the fact is they're showing us right now. Garfield's character has dealt with the issue of being strong enough to protect other people. That's been his bigger thing in season 2. He even describes himself literally as a wall. So watching him fight somebody who's stronger than him outside of the wall, the one that he was already afraid of, only reiterates that same fear he kind of had before. It's not the fact that, he's like afraid of Reinhardt or whatever, but it now says back to him that he might not be strong enough to protect everybody he cares about. And I freaking love that. I had to say that. That absolutely like almost blew me away with the writing, and I just enjoyed it so much.
I just want to say, because we've been practicing chapter 29 and 30, Super, you polished the fuck out of your lines. Good job, man.
Yeah.
Really great delivery,
Thanks.
dude.
Really good.
Amazing job, Super.
Amazing delivery. I'm not gonna believe. I don't mean to trash a dub, but whenever it comes out for season 3, I'm not gonna believe that any of the cast is not our cast at this point.
Gonna be like too gruff the entire time. She's gonna be scratchy the entire time.
I haven't heard Garfield's English dub in a while.
It's been a while. I've only really watched the sub. So other thing. So again, I'm just taking this. I'm gonna take Garfield's word for this. If this is his mother, what a jacked up move. Not only
so
if this is.
keep in mind, if this is his mom, the whole point of him wanting to stay in Sanctuary revolved around his family. Like,
yes.
So
also, isn't it kind of jacked up? She did have 2 more kids. She named the son Fred, as if like she was just replacing the 2 of them. Her name is gonna be what's a female name of Garf? So,
Gertrude.
Gertrude. It's gonna be Gertrude and Fred.
I don't think we got the name of the sister at all.
I
Just
wanted to make one up.
Sister.
I think one of the most emotional parts about all this is that it's dealing with both of Garfield's most like deepest feared like traumas and stuff like that. One surrounding family and one surrounding his lack of strength to protect those he cares about. He already went through that experience during Arc 4, feeling like he's able to get the confidence back to, help his new friends and new family and new, goal in life is to protect them. But also he's now once again confronted with the fact that he has been without his sister for so long. He's been without his mother for so long. And now he has to look at a cold mirror of what it could have been, and it's really, he's at his lowest point at the moment. Like at one point, just because of the fact that, like he has to deal with all of this at once, and also at the very least, he was doing well because he had Mimi by his side. Mimi's able to help, calm him and whatnot. And he's able to have fun, being the hero that he strives to be, that ideal that he has to help and save everyone, as he showed with the kids. And it's all a lot,
I want
honestly as well too. He's got like great characteristics for being a hero. He's showing all the characteristics that would matter. Is he a bit gruff sometimes? Sorta, but like most of the time he's been like super wholesome through this. Every time the kids have questions, he's kind of playing along with them. He's having fun. You know, he's telling them about the stories or whatever. Like he was meaner to Mimi at the start, but even then he couldn't keep up his facade for a minute. Yeah, at a certain point he just started talking to her. He even offered, "Let's go get something to eat." His normal demeanor, as much as he'll try to show off, like in like the beginning of season 2 for me, he was very like he wasn't Bakugo levels of like screw off, but he was getting there.
I want to bring this up too, since we're going back. Like I wanted to kind of reel it back into the mother thing. Garfield's the only one who like physically saw what happened, if I remember correctly. Like the landslide. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
So it's I forget. Jog my memory a bit. Did Ryuzu and Frederica know about the landslide incident?
Well, you'll see about that in a second, my friend.
Okay.
Also, with this illustration, literally his world breaking. Like there's actual glass shattering.
There's cliches
behind.
like this in other novels or like other series where we have, you know, a potential character that one of our main or supporting characters knew, but it's not delivered nearly as well as this is.
No, I was literally thinking while we're doing this, I was like, you know, in another show, this would be really bad. But in this show, I'm like, oh, freak. Oh my gosh. No, he's being so wholesome. He just cheered himself up, darn it.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, because all we see is the trial, really, for why Garfield's so traumatized by it. He just like bangs his head on the fucking the tomb, the outer port into the tomb, after he does.
One
his
really
first
good
trial.
part I like about Garfield's thought process is he does use the word for strength, and I wonder if it's just like the Japanese word, like it could be like
There could be a author's
maybe
note
like
on the bottom
psycho-
for the kanji.
Yeah. But I like the fact that he doesn't necessarily just mean that in strength, as in strength physically. He specifically mentions characters like Subaru and then Roswell. Roswell, you could say, oh, he's physically strong.
Inner strength.
But Subaru,
Right.
Yeah, he also values a ton of inner strength, and I really enjoy that note.
It's also showing how much he respects Subaru, right? Subaru's his role model. Like, Subaru's the person he wants to be, in his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't think Subaru would expect that kind of relationship with someone.
It makes a lot of sense, too, because Subaru is a person, as far as he's seen, that literally almost protected, or basically protected everybody. That's like the sort of goal here, is I will be strong enough that I can still... He left Sanctuary, and he's not the shield of Sanctuary anymore, but he's still trying to be the shield of the people he's around.
Right.
Yep.
Literally.
And
Yeah.
before we... Is it a spoiler to show a light novel illustration from Arc 4 here, or...?
That shouldn't be. If
I
it's
don't
from
think so.
R4.
Oh, could we show Pablo's image at some point as well?
Oh, we pulled it up already. The one,
have we?
The one about
Great.
with the kids being rescued?
Yes.
Yeah, I showed that when the scene happened.
Oh, okay. Great.
You know what? I'll send it to you guys on Discord and see if this is too big of a nope or a yes, and then we can put it up if it's not. We do have to explain...
Is it over 500 millimeters?
Shut up. We do have to explain the discrepancy.
Yes.
That's not a spoiler. It's
Okay.
shown in the anime.
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched it last night to practice.
It's just they changed their character design.
Yeah, so there's also this, just as a comparison between this potentially being Garfield's mother. The only thing is the hair color, but not too sure what that
They
is.
changed that back in the anime. That was a design
They do.
mistake in the light novel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that was a mistake.
What Conda's here now?
Supposed to be yellow.
Oh, yeah.
Larkakanda, yeah.
Larkakanda.
with a serious PFP still.
Yeah, with a serious PFP.
Oh, yeah, I haven't changed it. I really like the art, actually.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
You know, if you voice Otto in the future, we're gonna need you to swap that PFP out.
No.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
just
man,
have
it's
to
the
show
show.
races.
Okay.
I need to show that cute sketch of Sirius somebody did.
Oh yeah, we can do that during
yeah,
our mid portion or like our end of this chapter.
Yeah,
'cause we
let's do
have
it
a
at the
bunch.
end of it. Don't worry about it.
Makes
Yeah.
everyone happy after.
I'm gonna leave
Paul did a really
tortured
cute.
Garfield. as
Willow
a-
did a really cute sketch of
Oh.
Sirius, right?
I'm
Yes.
gonna leave this one on screen for now. The tortured image
Yeah.
of Garf, because this is Let's leave this here. Suffer.
And
Bane.
yes, Pain was here.
Echo Pain.
Shinra
Okay.
Tensei.
And Gold, you're narrating this one as well. You guys got everything set up with the breaks and where Super's narrating, where you're narrating.
I'm pretty sure I know where it is. Yeah.
All right, perfect. If you guys are all set and ready to go, is there no other points you guys want to bring up?
Max depression.
All right. And with that, I'm going to go use the washroom. You guys carry on. Have a great reading.
Have a good pee.
I will. Bye.
All right. Arc 5, Chapter 30, Tiger and Cat Under the Moon.
I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting guests, so the house isn't very tidy.
We don't mind. It looks clean. Pretty clean. Mimi's room looks a lot more chaotic.
That's no good.
The woman casually stroked Mimi, who sat on the sofa, kicking her legs and looking very comfortable. Mimi made happy noises, completely relaxed around the woman. Immersed in the scene, Garfield looked silently at the woman. Her long blonde hair flowed down to her waist, her skin was fair like snow, her slim body retained woman's curves, and her soft face displayed a pair of calm, emerald eyes. Her youthful appearance suited that of a woman in her mid-20s, but Garfield knew that she should be in her mid-30s. The fact that it did not match up to Garfield's expectations was precisely the source of his confusion.
Gorgeous Tiger-san, does tea not match your tastes? I'm sorry, I didn't even think to ask you what you'd like to drink.
The woman, a woman who claimed to be Riala Thompson, frowned at the silent Garfield. He was shaken back into awareness by her voice. He looked down at the cup of tea that had been served in front of him, and hurriedly grabbed it.
No. My amazing self was just being a bit silly. I'm just thinking that this room's unusually big. That's all.
Is that so? My family's very big, and so is our house. But that makes it hard to clean. It looks like I was careless again.
Riala accepted Garfield's hurried excuse without a trace of doubt, laughing elegantly, putting her hand on her mouth. She was dressed in well-tailored clothing, suitable for living in a mansion that could only be described as large. Her smile, her sweet tone, everything about her struck Garfield with nostalgia. However, Riala spoke not a word of Garfield's gaze. This detail alone gripped Garfield's heart with pain. The woman who claimed to be Riala Thompson looked exactly like the woman who had been imprinted clearly into his mind, Rashia Tinzel, Garfield's mother. Garfield's separation from his mother had happened shortly after his birth, back when he had no self-awareness, so obviously his memories of his mother's were scant. Even so, Garfield knew every detail of her face, after seeing her in that detestable tomb where the trial had been hosted. There, he witnessed his separation from his mother. Her face, her voice, her love. Garfield knew them all from the trial. And that same trial had shown him the unfortunate death that had reached her shortly after her departure. So, to Garfield, seeing his mother again was an impossible dream. But if that was so, then who was the woman in front of him?
Mimi-san, your ears look so soft. Would it be possible for me to touch them?
Please, go ahead.
Riala happily reached out to Mimi, who reached out her head and stroked Mimi's ears with a look of contentment. Mimi's smile was only that of a little girl could wear. They were an odd pair, a tiny beastman and a suspicious thug-like demi-human, but they had been invited in without a second thought. This woman had simply no sense of wariness. Such attitudes were, to Garfield, all associated with motherliness. His mother, Russia, had been quite the unfortunate woman. Her parents had lost everything to debt, and had sold her to a group of slave traders, who were in turn ambushed by demi-human bandits. They had made Riala their plaything. Somewhere along the way, she had been pregnant with Frederica, and as his mother's stomach swelled, the bandits simply abandoned her. After that, she was taken in by a different band of thieves and spent a long time with them. His older sister Frederica had grown up in that group of bandits, and remembered those times. Although she did not talk about it, the fact that Riala departed as soon as she became pregnant with Garfield indicated that it had been a rather poor environment. Suffering misfortune after misfortune, Riala wandered around with her daughter while carrying a child. Fortunately, she was soon rescued by Roswal, a pompous noble. He had made her a proposal. He would take them to Sanctuary, where they would be given food, safety, and shelter. In Sanctuary, Garfield was born, and Ryuzu became his guardian. Life had treated his mother in a way that could only be summed up as cruel. However, his mother's personality was unknown to those who had only heard her stories. Those who really knew his mother would never give her life of such an unfortunate evaluation.
Ah, Raisha. That girl is always inexplicably, weirdly optimistic, always looking towards the future. Despite suffering through the painful days where she could have died, she'd always say, maybe something nice will happen tomorrow. Even if today's hard, tomorrow may be better. Like a little child, she's always looked forward to the little happy things in life.
Honored mother was. She may have been dismissed as a foolish woman by other people. To be honest, I believe that she never really grasped the lessons on how to best survive. But she was an incredibly wonderful person. That is one thing I can say for certain. I love our mom with all of my heart, and I am happy to be her daughter.
Is this about your mother, Reshia-san? Right. Although I never had too many chances to chat with her face to face, but she was a strange person. Or maybe it's better to say incredible. She was much more sensitive to happiness than most people. She was always cheerful, finding happiness in even the worst of situations. Yes, that's not something I disliked. Ryuzu, Frederica, and even Roswell all spoke fondly of her. Within Sanctuary, anyone who had known his mother had said the same thing. She was someone who always was relaxed and happy. If that had been the case, she would not have been left to look for Garfield's father foolishly, who had more than likely encountered misfortune, and then she had immediately suffered another misfortune and died. And what happiness did she get? He had never found the answer as to where his mother's happiness was.
If I couldn't find it, I should have just given up.
Nails dug into the palm of his hand as he clenched his fist, to the point blood was about to gush. He should have given up, but he had never understood that. It had taken a long time, but he had finally grown to accept it. This was plainly the case, but why now had she appeared again? As she had always been, with a carefree and cheerful attitude that told him that she did not know him. In order to keep her from noticing, he had resigned himself to secretly observing her expressions and behaviors. Nothing felt unnatural. It was strikingly clear that this was his mother that had treated him as a stranger, as if it were completely natural. Was this her answer? She had a new life. Unaware of Garfield, she led her happy life. She had attained happiness like this, by driving away the promises that she had once made.
I don't care to know about your affairs.
Was what his mother's answer to...
Mother! Mom, I'm hungry!
Garfield had been silent as Mimi and Riala played around. Brother and sister joined them in the living room, after to their rooms to change. The sister cast a stern look at Garfield, and then immediately huddled close to her mother.
Mom, tell the guests to go home, and then we can eat. As an older sister, what are you saying? Gorgeous-san and Mimi took care of Fred when he nearly drowned. We are indebted to them.
About that, couldn't it be that gorgeous person was the one who did it? So he could come to our house and take advantage of our generosity? Maybe he wants money.
Hey now, that's going too far. But you're right. We have to thank him for Fred. Should we give him money?
Mom!
The sister, who had realized that her words were about to become the reason for her family's bankruptcy, flew into a panic. On the other hand, Riala, who failed to grasp the reason for her daughter's rant, glanced around in confusion. For Garfield, that smiling interaction between parent and child made breathing harder than walking barefoot on thorns. Draining his tea in one gulp, Garfield set his cup down with a clang.
Since my amazing self doesn't seem to be welcome here, we'll be leaving.
Why?
No particular reason.
Although Garfield wanted to leave, Mimi continued to resist. However, as if he had not heard her, Garfield picked her up. As he stood to go, Rial looked distraught, while her daughter cast a smirk at him. Well, Garfield would respect her feelings, and with that thought...
Don't go, gorgeous tiger!
Seizing the hem of Garfield's pants, the little brother blocked his way. For a second, for reasons unknown to him, Garfield hesitated to shake off his little hands, but...
Fred, honestly, you're...
As the younger brother advocated for a suspicious criminal to stay, the older sister placed her hands on her waist in anger. Riala clapped her hands, capturing everyone's attention before the sister jumped her brother.
Everyone, look. It's not good to not get along. You're pushing our guests to leave. Fred seems to want them to stay, so don't force them to do anything, Oni-chan.
But, Mom!
No buts. Gorgeous-san and Mimi, stay here for a while, won't you? It'd be a delight to share dinner with you. And tonight's meal is my best dish.
Mom, you call everything your best dish.
Mm-hmm. Shouldn't that be obvious? Mom always tries her best on every dish for you.
Everyone present wore a panicked expression towards Riala, who flexed her bicep, but Garfield more so than anyone else. This harmonious atmosphere, it cut deeply into Garfield's heart. Riala's words cast upon him a unique sense of happiness and helplessness. Accepting her invitation would be the worst possible thing that Garfield could do.
Sorry about your invitation, but a few of my companions are waiting for me. They'll be worried if we're late, so we should be heading out soon.
Suppressing the pain in his chest, Garfield prayed that his voice would not tremble. At his answer, the sister's face became stiff, and Riala frowned, her gaze cast down, and...
I understand. There is no point in forcing you to stay if it bothers you. It's like what they say, show your guests hospitality and soiree.
That exchange had been the one that had hurt Garfield the most on this day. Losing to Reinhard in that duel, the initial impact of seeing Riala looked so minuscule, so utterly trivial compared to how he was feeling now. Unconsciously, Garfield placed a hand close to his chest, as if needing to confirm whether his body had been torn or not. And to that, Garfield state,
I feel... Let's go.
Mimi, who had refused to leave until then, gently took Garfield's hand in hers and began leading him away. Facing her concern, Garfield obeyed silently, so, with their hands on the handle of the living room door, ready to go outside.
I'm home. Oh, do we have guests?
On the other side of the door appeared the figure of a gentleman sporting a magnificent beard. He appeared to be a man wearing well-tailored clothing, and gave off an energetic atmosphere. From the tone of his voice, from his facial features, he seemed to be a man of accomplishments. At that man's appearance, the children scrambled to their feet with joy. Then, that man would be...
I haven't seen this stranger's face before.
Dad, this is Gorgeous Tiger. He's a suspicious person.
What?
Faced with the sharply contrasting attitudes of his son and daughter, the father tilted his head in distress. He turned to Riala, who stood quietly in the living room. Under the man's loving gaze, Riala loosened her cheeks. Garfield had hit his limit.
It ain't that big a deal. We were going anyway.
Leaving that sentence behind, Garfield grabbed Mimi and hurriedly pushed his way out of the room, scrambling toward the door as if running away.
Gorgeous Tiger!
From behind, a sad voice called to Garfield. However, Garfield had no response to that call. Who was gorgeous? Oh.
What was Tiger? He was Garfield, not Gorgeous Tiger. Where was that golden tiger now? A tiger was strong, powerful creature, could not be shaken by anything. Where was the tiger now? A real tiger wouldn't be affected by such things, would it?
It hurt!
Too focused on his thoughts, Garfield did not notice the cry of sharp pain. He did not notice until Mimi had broken free of his vice grip, extracting her hand from his nails, which had been digging into her. Her small hand was now swollen and blue.
Sorry, my amazing self was...
Arf, you were weird at that house too. My hand really hurts.
Mimi mumbled quietly, and Garfield smacked his forehead with his hand. They fell into an awkward silence as the Watergate city's moist wind caressed their faces. The sun had fallen from the sky completely, the city shrouded by the light emitted by the magic stones. The sunshine on the water's surface was replaced by light from the magical lamps, but he was in no mood to enjoy that scene's mysterious and quiet beauty.
Hey, you two, over there.
Someone approached Garfield and Mimi with gasping breaths. Looking up, the magic light revealed the man from before who had shed his coat. Finally arriving in front of the two, he put his hands on his knees, panting violently.
I finally caught up. This won't do. I used to be more energetic, and I'm completely out of shape now that I've gotten a desk job.
Do you need anything from us?
Garfield indicated that he was not interested in the man's words. The existence of this man, although not to the degree of Riala's children, also caused distress in Garfield. His voice was full of harshness, but the man paid no mind to it, placing his head on his head, displaying his embarrassment.
No, I heard from my wife that you two were benefactors of my son. It'd be completely unjustifiable if I never displayed any gratitude.
It's no big deal. If you talk so big like that, my amazing self will be embarrassed.
Everything involving my kids, no matter what, is incredibly important. Saving him from danger makes it even more important. Really, if you need anything at all. Oh, I'm really sorry. My name is Garrick Thompson. Despite how I look, I work at Prestilia City Hall. So if there's anything I can do to help you...
Really?
A man who had a way with words, Garfield, who wished to leave as soon as possible, was suddenly at a loss for words when trying to get away from Garrick. But if he were indeed Riala's husband, if he really knew her then...
My amazing self's got only one question. Would it be okay for you to answer?
Yes, anything. No matter what, I'll do my best to answer.
Garrick responded to Garfield with a benevolent smile. The same was true of Riala too, and their son Fred. This entire family was too kind for their own good. Only their daughter had any proper sense of suspicion. With that in mind, Garfield was very cautious in his choice of words.
Your wife, Riala, what's her name?
As soon as Garfield posed his question, the atmosphere shifted. The smile faded from Garrick's face. He pondered Garfield's question silently for a few moments before replying in a level voice.
What do you mean?
I mean it literally. It's like, no matter what, Reed plays a straight game, right? Playing with words ain't my style. Tell me, your wife, is her name Resha instead of Riala?
Garrick's expression had been unsettled by Garfield's straight-to-the-point statement. Garrick took a moment to swallow before his voice escaped his mouth.
Do you know anything about my wife?
My amazing self also wants to know that.
Garfield responded sincerely to Garrick's trembling voice. At those words, Garrick fell into silence as if he were thinking. Waiting for his reply, Garfield took Mimi's good hand into his own. Glancing up at him, she smiled as she usually did.
It seems that I should tell you the truth.
As Garfield looked sideways at Mimi's smile, Garrick spoke with a sigh. His voice was weighted with fatigue and powerlessness. Garfield frowned, waiting for his next sentence. Then...
My wife, Relia, has no memories from before our meeting. 15 years ago.
Garrick had met Riala before becoming an influential person in the city of Prestella, back when he was merely a merchant rooted in Prestella. On that day, on his way back from negotiations that had taken place far from the city, Garrick, who had been driving a dragon carriage, had found his path blocked by a landslide. The business deal had broken down, and Garrick could not stand the frustration of having to face even more misfortune while on the road, as he struggled to repay a loan. Then, in that tragic landslide, he found a woman buried alive. It had been a miracle. There was no other explanation. Refusing to make a detour, Garrick had desperately wondered if he could still follow his original route. Around that time, the heavy rain finally stopped, and Garrick's full field of view returned. Garrick had come across the landslide not long after it had happened, meaning that the woman had been buried for a fairly short time. As a result of the various miracles that were overlapping, Garrick had found and rescued the woman who was still breathing. She had been covered in mud, and he had found no luggage near her. Taking the unconscious woman to his dragon carriage, Garrick immediately rushed to a nearby town where she was taken to a clinic and awaited her rehabilitation.
At the time, her condition was incredibly precarious. She had a high fever and had various injuries and bone fractures from the landslide. Her heart even stopped at one point during treatment.
As the unlikely situation carried on, both the people at the clinic and Garrick struggled to help her, hoping for her recovery. Why had Garrick wanted so desperately to save her? There had indeed been a reason yet unknown to him, which explained his actions. He was grateful to everyone's efforts from the bottom of his heart.
Hard work paid off, and she survived. Although she was still heavily wounded, I remember being relieved when it became clear her life was no longer threatened. She woke up shortly after. It took a week. I stayed in the city, waiting for her to wake up.
The failure of negotiations had made the future of Garrick's company grim. In that situation, wasting time equated wasting money. Garrick did not understand why he had been restraining himself from his travels, but something unknown kept Garrick rooted there. Then, after a week, the woman woke up. After her awakening, the people rejoiced. She spoke to the crowd gathered around her with a trembling, faint voice.
Who am I?
Who am I? Were her first words.
The woman had forgotten her name. No, not just her name, she had forgotten everything. Who was she? Where did she come from? And what was she trying to do? What had happened before that cliff had collapsed? Everyone was at a loss regarding her treatment, as she could not remember her family members. All she had were the clothes she was wearing during the accident. Sewn on the fabric were the only discernible letters of her names, or perhaps even an acronym. Ray.
Influenced by the name of a blossoming flower, I decided to call her Relia. Then, I planned to take care of her until her wounds had fully healed.
Her wounds healed little by little, and soon enough she was discharged from the clinic. Riala, even having nowhere to go, remained a cheerful woman. She treated that terrible accident as if it had never happened, and she had the power to make all of those interacted with had a smile. In her situation, it would be impossible not to feel uneasy. The loss of one's own memory were equivalent to losing one's own existence, but if she carried on smiling because she felt it necessary to do so, or maybe it was because she was concerned for the people around her. But the most important reason was that she did not see herself as unfortunate.
The nervousness from confessing to her, asking her to come with me, is still fresh in my memory. The time between my question and her reply was probably the most anxious I'd ever been in my life. Even more so when I proposed marriage to her.
So, accepting Garrick's proposal, Rial went to him to Priscilla. The reason why he had refused to abandon her, the reason why he had waited so long for her to wake up, was incredibly simple. At that moment, when he dragged her from that landslide, carried her to his dragon carriage, and cleaned the mud off her face, Garrick fell in love with her instantly.
My business, which had been unlucky until I took in Relia, improved quickly. The people around me said that it was all thanks to my talent. Ridiculous. It was all thanks to Relia. She brought me good luck. She blessed me. So now I can be a merchant like this, a city manager, and a father. I love my wife, and our children are both very cute. I used to care about her past, but at this moment, no matter who she was before, I consider my wife my most important person.
Garrick finished speaking about everything, from their first encounter to the present, and concluded thus with embarrassment. Garfield, who had been silent from beginning to end, listened intently, looking up at the sky. In the darkness, stars were scattered everywhere. The glorious full moon and the glitter of the stars were probably looking down at his current thoughts.
I am very sorry to ask this of you, but I cannot help but do so. What is the relationship between you and my wife, Relia?
How cruel was this question? His line of sight fell from the sky to Garrick in front of him. Garrick's gentle eyes held firm determination as he gazed at Garfield. He would not be so insensitive as to misunderstand what Garfield would say, or what emotions he had held. And so Garfield knew exactly which answer would be correct. Opening and closing his mouth, breathing, exhaling, inhaling, breathing repeatedly. Heartbeat fast, eyes dazed. A burst of pain in his head, the need to retch. The swirl of mixed emotions tightened his chest, already on the verge of collapse. Mimi gripped his hand tightly.
My amazing self has nothing to do with your wife.
There, he had said it out loud. With that sentence, the vortex swirling in Garfield's heart swiftly vanished. He was left with only a suffocating sense of loss. Garrick, who stood in front of him, lowered his head as if he had made a mistake, not wanting to look Garfield in the face, speaking with a trembling voice.
I feel so sorry.
With a look of unnatural pain, he bowed. However, Garfield did not want to see Garrick's reaction. Enough. He had enough already. Stop. He wanted to leave. Wanted to stop being hurt. What had gone wrong? Whose fault was it? Was it his own fault, or was it Garrick's fault? Who should be to blame? Who should he crush? Who should he eat? Who should he send flying? What could he do to end the pain in his heart, to make it vanish, disappear to parts unknown?
Honey, this is great! Gorgeous Son and Mimi are still here?
Those words echoed with immense volume. Grief and turmoil raised the noise, making so intense it could kill. To Garfield, on this day, its appearance was immensely scarier than a knife.
Aurelia, why?
You left in such a hurry. But I didn't want you to go home empty-handed, so...
While Garrick was surprised by his wife's appearance, Riala winked, walking by him. Then she approached the stunned, stiff Garfield, stretching out her hand.
These are some sweet soirée that I made. Although it's not much of a sign of gratitude, I'm still proud of it. So I hope you'll accept it.
Her smile held not a trace of malice. Stubbornly, Garfield refused to speak. His exchange with Garrick had opened old wounds, preventing him from being able to speak to Riala. Anyone able to read the mood would have understood the meaning of his silence, and yet...
Oh, a dessert! That's so much fun! Amazing! I'll share it with the lady!
Obviously, Mimi smiled at the bag of sweets presented by Riala, completely neglecting to notice the atmosphere. Garrick looked shocked, and Garfield was speechless, but only Riala laughed in joy at Mimi's reaction.
I'm so glad you like it. And please, go share it with the one you call lady.
Okay, understood. Understood.
After saluting with a hand that was not being held by Garfield, a hand still displaying a bluish hue, Mimi put that container in her pocket and clapped Garfield on the back. She had applied enough power that he couldn't help but enter a coughing fit, and Mimi smiled.
Well, this time, we're really leaving. Gorgeous Tiger and Gorgeous Mimi will see you later.
Alright, safe travels. Take care not to fall in the water, Gorgeous Son.
Mimi took Garfield's hand, and Riala waved as they left. Smiling, Mimi turned back and waved, only for Riala to wave even more vigorously. Only two men had been left with pained expressions after the smiling farewell. Like this, Garfield was led along the path to the side of the waterway by Mimi, his arm being pulled. Mimi did not speak to Garfield, walking until Riala had long vanished from view.
Hey, midget.
Over here.
Garfield wanted to stop Mimi, but was suddenly interrupted. Mimi, still holding Garfield's hand, rapidly leapt onto a three-story building stone, ascending with the use of footholds. Garfield was pulled along, of course, but forced to take the same pace as her. With a few leaps, the two had reached the top of the building.
Feels so good.
So good, my ass. What are you pulling just now?
As Mimi bathed in the breeze, Garfield turned around to confirm her intention. However, he saw that Mimi was staring at him, her face devoid of a smile. He saw himself reflected in her large round eyes, and Garfield did not understand the unease brewing in his heart. Faced with Garfield's silence, Mimi's expression suddenly broke.
Arf, you want to cry?
Huh? What are you saying? Why'd my Mason self cry?
I know that Garf is strong, but you shouldn't put on that strong act. Riala, she's Garf's mother, right?
At Mimi's unexpected question, Garfield held his breath. She had accurately grasped the flow of the things. If she didn't need to know of Garfield's circumstances, then that conclusion would be easy to make. However, Mimi knew nothing about Garfield's family. Her ability to discern the truth was really rather impressive. The fact that she had brought up that horrifying topic in such a straightforward manner shook Garfield, and he hesitated.
Why would you think that?
Garf and Riala smell super similar, and both of Riala's children also smelled a bit like Garf. That's why.
Her assumption was not based on logical reasoning, but on something innate, and thus she could see the truth clearly. If Mimi had inferred her conclusion from Garfield's words, he could have made attempts to hide his past, but like this, Garfield was unable to deny it. His legs giving out, Garfield looked up at the sky in a daze. But the stars and moons were unchanged, and just as before, they were looking down at Garfield.
So, is that right? Is Riala Garf's mother?
My amazing self doesn't know. Is that woman still my amazing self's mother?
At Mimi's words, Garfield covered his face with his hand. He did not know. That truly, unmistakably, was the feeling swirling in Garfield's heart right now. Riala was unmistakably Russia, just as Garrick had said, and as her actions up to this point had demonstrated, Riala had completely forgotten that she was Russia. Forgetting everything, Russia had found a new start as Riala, raising her children, living happily.
Come to think of it, that'd make those two kids my amazing self's little brother and sister.
Although he had only realized it just now, those siblings, their father, a different person from his own, related to him in the same way he was related to Frederica. In other words, those siblings were his own lovely younger siblings. It had been a relationship he had longed for ever since his childhood, being the youngest between himself and Frederica. Wouldn't it be nice if he could enjoy that relationship without the circumstances that surrounded it?
Even if my amazing self tells her about my heritage, nothing would change.
Riala had forgotten her time as Russia. Even if Garfield spilled everything he knew, the 15 years she had spent as Riala would still remain unchanged, and the 15 or so years she had spent as Russia would remain lost. Only Riala would then be saddled with the burden of 15 years of guilt, feeling like she had lost her life as Russia. That was unnecessary. Garrett could only be able to witness his wife's depression, and their children will only be able to watch their mother's suffering, while being completely unaware of its cause. Doing so would only be for Garfield's own sake. Garfield would be the only one gaining from having Riala accept that she would be Russia. Neither Federica nor Ryuzu knew of Russia's survival. If Garfield said nothing, the two of them would never know. The member of Riala's family would not know of her past without Garfield's testimony. If they learned of it, those happy times would most likely be lost rather than preserved. All of it would be for taking all of it would be take all this to be successfully resolved was to have Garfield hide everything, hide all of his feelings accumulated in his chest, and let go.
Why is my amazing self?
Could he not even find the courage to throw it away, to forget, to bury it deep within himself?
Tiger. Where did you go? Show me the right path. Only he could bear everything, take on everything alone, and still have the strength to stand up. Tell me, Tiger. A true tiger with the strongest existence, second to none. Holding my head, biting down on my molars, lamenting the feelings swirling back and forth, mixing together. And then I noticed.
It's okay.
In the next moment, I noticed that my head was being placed gently and stroked and hugged my small bosom. Still collapsed on the ground, I was grabbed by Mimi from behind in a hug. resting her chin on my head. Her small palm gently stroked my head. That tender touch on my back, moving back and forth, gradually eased the pain and agitation of my head. What are you doing? This is...
If Garf needs to cry, I think there's a specific place where boys are allowed to cry. Although I forgot where, I remember the lady telling me about it.
For a moment, she seemed to be giving an answer, but her train of thought drifted away. In order to keep my heart from shaking, in order to keep my voice from trembling, I chose my words carefully. Like this, holding me, Mimi giggled.
Well, although I've forgotten, is it the feeling of a woman's chest? Is it like that? That's it! It's alright for a man to cry on the chest of a woman he's interested in.
Who would be interested in a midget like ya? The one Garfield was interested in was a woman who was never kind when I wanted her to be, but when I least expected, after which she would beat me with her fists. She was a woman who was incredibly difficult to deal with. The girl in front of me did not resemble her at all. However, she was still smiling despite my answer.
That's fine. Even if Garfield's not in love with Mimi, Mimi already is. Hey, a girl who likes Garf? So, Mimi's chest. It's okay to cry there.
What a foolish notion. What was this? Some kind of language game? It was only a child's excuse, loaded with nothing but assertiveness. There was obviously nothing, so stop kidding around. Tiger. Tiger! Where did you go? Right now, come back to my heart. Howl your deep, ferocious roar. Beat this slouched back. Force me to wake up and do something with my feelings. Otherwise, it'll be too late. Mother. Enough. Stop talking. Don't make such a weak voice. Don't cry with such a weak voice. He was a tiger. A tiger. The most powerful. The strongest. Sturdier than anyone. Strongest of the shields. However... Mother... Mama! Why? Why did you forget me? I've met you after all this time! Can't my amazing self even call you Mom?
It's alright. Garfield's a good boy. A good boy.
Mama! Tiger. Where did you go? What do I look like now? Stars. Moon. Sky. Tell me. What do I look like now? If I can't be a roaring tiger, then what do I look like right now?
My fucking god, Super.
Yo,
Super, I'm
good
so
sh-
proud
good
of
shit
you.
nugget. Good
Super.
shit nugget. Oh.
Holy fucking
my
shit,
God.
Super.
I'm freaking crying.
Gold,
Good
Gold. I don't even blame you for breaking me. I would have broke the first fucking chapter, dude. Good job narrating.
I could hear Gold creasing. Oh, Gold! That was so rough, man. Oh fuck!
Can we
Music's
just
still going.
Holy fuck, Jace.
It's still going.
Jace, screw you, but thank you. Good OSTs, but fuck, man.
Thank you, Jace.
Super, you did such a great
Oh
job.
my
I'm so
god,
proud.
you guys slayed this chapter.
Really good.
Holy
Hey,
I'm so tired.
Why? Why would you write this? Why would you punch me in my eyes?
I like how Tapei dragged this out for 2 whole chapters, as like long as he could.
It's not done yet, right?
God.
We're on chapter 30.
This is where we're
There's
stopping,
another
everyone.
one.
Oh my lord.
Oh.
I was so
Nick
close to
Tram.
crying, but I held it in.
You did such a good job.
Nick Tram, thanks for
Oh
the
my
5.
I hate
Oh
it
my
because I'm in
God.
between crying and not. My eyes really fucking hurt, but I can't cry.
Super, holy shit.
Was trying so hard not to. That's what I was trying to do.
Can we just
Oh,
appreciate
I kinda
Mimi
loved
and
it
Super
when
in this
they were
chapter? Like how innocent Mimi was this whole time.
You guys,
Holy
W's for
fuck.
them both, please. Can we get W's? I
Oh,
just want some
hell,
appreciation.
amazing work.
Great
God.
job,
Amazing.
Nugget. Great job, Super.
Hearts, W's, whatever the freak
Like
you can throw in
we've
there,
already had
please.
really strong like Emilia performances, Subaru, pretty much all the cast has had a really strong emotional performance, and now Garfield is added to the mix here. Holy
Oh,
shit. Is that
man.
Fanta?
Wow, what an honor, am I right?
Oh, it's Will.
It's purple.
Hi, Purple.
Hi, Purple.
Welcome.
Too.
We're hurt.
But yeah, I was gonna say, Kyle's, your video really helped there. I watched 4 different anime characters cry. I watched Subaru cry, then Garfield cry, and then Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul cry, and then the main
Oh.
character of Guilty Crown cry, and then you put it all together.
Yay,
I'm so
crying.
glad.
Really, Guilty Crown? Wow.
Yeah, when he okay, wait, never mind. I don't want to spoil.
We
I
really
doubt
went
anyone
through the
cares.
ringer.
But yeah.
Yesterday.
Speaking of crying, I need to fucking practice that.
Oh my
Oh.
god. Okay.
Oh
Okay,
my God.
that's super.
The way that this was delivered, especially how Nugget portrayed Mimi, like being completely
Yes.
not like disassociated from what was happening, but more so,
So
trying her
caring.
best.
Being the same as she always
Oh
is
my
with him.
god, Nugget!
So caring.
Buying that mic was so fucking worth it. Oh my god, I'm so happy right now.
Great job, Nugget.
Great job.
Nugget
Well done,
deserves all
Nugget.
the cheeseburgers. Every
Nugget, you
single
still
one.
here?
Somebody say cheeseburgers.
Yes. Oh wow! Holy shit! Flood 55 with a $50 donation. Absolutely love the voice acting and the OST just made it all better. Keep up the good work. Well, Flood 55, you just funded one of our light novel illustrations, so thank you. We're going to try to,
Pogger.
we're gonna use all this money that you guys are donating to get some very talented group of artists to illustrate more scenes from Arc 5. We're gonna make this
I
come
need-
alive as much as we can. So thank
Need
you.
a scene of him just sitting by
I'm
the
still
bridge,
fucking
looking up
crying.
at the stars,
Oh my
and it's
God.
just.
Super. When
Do you mind if I? Oh,
wait,
go
hold
ahead,
on.
go ahead.
Sorry, I just need to know. Super, were you actually like breaking down there, or were you just complete like method acting there?
I
Towards the
listened
end.
to Subaru crying right before I delivered the lines.
Oh, my god.
And then I
Which-
like sat back and listened to some of the narration before I came in.
Which
Holy
scene was it
shit.
specifically that you used?
Value of life, maybe.
Yeah, Value of Life.
I
There's the
kinda
one that
thought
Kyle
so.
sent in the
That's
files chat.
probably
The one
the
where-
best.
the one where Echidna
performance
grabs him and
from
he's
Super
like,
Crying.
or she's like, "Echidna
Yes.
dakara ne," and then it goes into the Fuck.
When he's finally able to like reveal his what's been going
Isn't
on with
that
him, and
OST
he's finally
called I Return
heard.
by Death, or is it called The Value of Life? I forget. It's one. Of
Value of Life, I think. I think it's called
Oh
Value
my
of
god!
Life.
Isn't some of the cast
Man.
anime only? If you're remembering, so interestingly enough, we had to read ahead for this particular chapter, so we did know what was going to happen. I believe Kiki, did you know what was going to happen, or
Nope,
Lightning?
I had no idea.
Oh, I had no idea.
Let's pry your
No.
brains.
I got a lot
Oh,
of notes
shit.
from this because there's
Hi,
a
hold
ton
on.
of character stuff.
Sorry.
Batten Kaidos.
Lai Batten Kaidos. Welcome to the Sinarch Bishops. Very
He keeps
fitting.
eating and eating, and it's never enough.
Very.
I keep eating and eating, but it's never
I
enough!
chew, I devour, I crunch, I'm on. Yeah. God damn it. Okay,
Oh
sorry.
my
Go
gosh.
ahead. Wait, Purple, are you talking?
I said I
If you are,
got
we
it.
can't hear you. Oh, okay. Well. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Purple
Right,
dead.
we can't hear you right now.
Go ahead for now, Ricardo.
I've gotten like a ton of notes about this because there was a ton of backstory in this.
God.
So first, their mother being in a terrible position. Second of all,
before you continue,
Frederica not.
sorry.
You want me to go? Do you want me to go feelings first? You want me to go breakdown? It's one or the other. You can
So
choose.
Tapei's confirmed, if I'm not mistaken, that Reshia has the worst like luck in ReZero, or like one of the worst upbringings or backstories. It was something.
Yeah, her life is terrible.
Somebody put in chat, if Frederica's 22 years old and Riala's somewhere in her mid 30s, she had Fred when she was like 13.
Really, I mean, thank you for adding that part in there, because I did not think that out completely. Really, I mean, to the point where Frederica describes her own mother as everybody else describes her as foolish, but then not knowing the best way to survive. That's a very specific statement that's stated in there now. And now it gives even more credence. And like, even when we're going back, so even bringing up her age too, her going back to go find Garth's father, specifically the only one that was sort of good in that whole situation, is kind of an act of naivety, because she's still, as you described, very young. Like, that's a very young mother. So she's like, all right, go ahead. No, go ahead. No, there's a ton.
Yeah, the one thing I want to bring up is they always said that she also had terrible luck with men, or like just relationships, and now she's in a position that she would be comfortable in, like as her old self. And it's also, it hits a lot harder too, that everything that Garfield wanted, like with younger siblings, his mother's happiness, it's all there, but he has to choose to abandon it.
It's even worse. It's even worse, because when Garfield start talking, you remember when Subaru and them are talking, and he goes, "Shouldn't I want my mother to have a happy life? Wouldn't that be the one thing I would want for her the most? Why would that be wrong of me to want that?" That makes the whole thing 40 times worse, because he sees all that in front of him, and he is forced for. We were spending 2 chapters sitting here in pain. He doesn't even have like his sister by him, so at least he'd have somebody else who has a similar reaction. This is just him. Just having to deal with it, and then he also has the weight. I'm all like emotional now. He also has the weight of the fact that he doesn't want to tell her or Ryuzu now, because that would only add to the fact of more pain in the situation. It would just be about him, but like this puts him in such a spot where he would have to be such an emotional anchor, because this is like a mature step to have to make, to either say or to not to say, that is so
This is just showing how selfless Garfield really is, because he's choosing not to be selfish and put her back in turmoil, even if it means he has to live with knowing for the rest of his life that his mother's alive, but out of his reach.
He can't tell, and he's not telling 2 people that he would care about this situation as well. That's also something he's going to have to live with. Ryuzu, the other Ryuzu's fine, right? As far as or did she... the end of season 2. I can't remember specifically.
It's mentioned earlier on in Arc 5. You might have missed it. Right. Is that Subaru assigns all of the Ryuzu clones that are left to a job role in the Roswell faction as like spies and scouts, because he felt guilty about how he used them in Arc 4.
Yeah. Memory's just a bit foggy, but thank you.
I'm pretty sure they visit every now and then to say hi to Frederica and go.
Can't even say it to her. Nope. Like, could you imagine being in the position where you know this kind of information? Like, he knows too would probably just bring pain to his sister as well. He's having to make such a self-sacrificing choice, and the entire time he's trying to be as polite as possible to leave. He's not trying to ruin, because he can see what's happening. It's almost like a younger him pulling on him to stay in the building just so he can enjoy the moment. My brain was trying to think, like, I mean, you can kind of work this out. Just don't tell her about all the terrible stuff. Go, hey, I'm your son. Blah blah blah. Let's just be a family. I know it wouldn't. I know. I'm just the suffering, man. The suffering. Oh my gosh, and it makes her. So also with both of their characters, Frederica and Garfield, it makes her, because they always have like this air of optimism to them, but it's also kind of I don't want to say it's completely a shield, but as we see with Garf always calling him his amazing self, the first thing you get with Frederica is her smile. If you pay attention to the fact that these characters are built to show as a sense of optimism, it almost feels like. With Frederica talking about with Roswell, it makes so much more sense now, where she's like, well, I'm just happy that my family was alive, so I'm not really as mad with Roswell. Of course she's not as mad, because this is a better situation than more likely what she was in when she was younger. Again, you bring up her mom probably was 13 in that terrible situation. Just Jesus, there's so much stuff here. My emotions are all over the place. And then Mimi being so wholesome, and the fact that she could just tell the situation, she put all the things together.
God.
Oh Jesus.
Okay, so
I'm
Fanta,
so sorry, guys.
Fanta sent something in the chat. He said, so credit to Fanta for this. So a bit that wasn't in the light novel nor the anime, this is season 2 stuff, and I always love pointing it out. Arc 4, chapter 111. Garfield says, Sis doesn't know. Sis thinks Mother's off somewhere, forgotten, about us living a happy life. That's not what really happened. Mom, the second she abandoned us, she died. So, Frederica doesn't even fucking know about... I'm gonna cry. Holy shit.
Wait, wasn't Frederica correct though?
No, wouldn't
Now
that be
she is,
implying
yes.
that Frederica does know, but she couldn't explain it to him?
Yeah,
No,
that's-
he
no,
just
no.
figures that
She was
she's
just
dead.
under the impression she left, but she didn't know the whole. So in her mind, let's say Garth told her right now, she'd go, "Yeah, I mean that's what I thought," but she doesn't know everything that went a part of it.
No, she doesn't know the
Garth
exact happening.
saw a whole situation in between, which made Garth think otherwise. And then now it's like, well, yeah, she would be correct the entire time, but I didn't know that. Thank you, Fanta. Thank you.
Oh, okay. So if they put their pictures of what happened together, they get the full picture.
I doubt it's gonna happen though.
Yeah,
Like,
kind of, yeah.
$1.99 from I'm a Bear Gamer. I'm a Bear Gamer S. I'll be back to watch this over the week. Good work. Thank you. Good work to everyone here. Fucking great job, guys.
Anybody else want to say something before I keep going? 'Cause I don't want to just.
Do you guys
steal
wanted me to
the
pull up a
entire
light
time.
novel illustration? Do you want me to do that after? Or no, the serious thing? Do you want me to do that now or later? Because I can just do it after this discussion.
It's up to you. No.
I don't really mind either way. Unless anybody
Give you an
has-
answer. Sure.
Does anybody... Did Kiki leave? Wait, no, is Kiki still here? I can't tell. Oh, yeah. Hey, Kiki, what do you think about this chapter? Ryuzu. Ryuzu, one of them.
Oh my gosh. So many emotions right now. I don't know if I can put it into. I'm not a good analyst, so unfortunately I can't really say much.
She's just feeling the
Just
emotions.
tell us
You
your
got the
feelings.
feels.
It's cool. Just tell us your feelings.
I don't know. I'm just too sad, man. I kind of just lost it where Garfield started crying. Like, why? Why would you do this?
Oh, Kiki.
Tape
Sorry.
has a way to pull on heartstrings like that. Like, normally...
Mom, why did you leave me?
Oh my god, Super,
Sorry, go on.
stop!
Dude, stop. You're good at this. It hurts.
So normally in
Halfway
anime...
through.
Flex.
Normally in anime, the whole lol, they're not dead twist is really lame. But my fucking god. Tape found a
It's
way.
actually
Surprising.
it's actually worse for her to be alive for Garfield.
Yeah,
than
she's
it
still
is
dead.
For her to be dead, because
Resha
she's still dead. That person that
That's
he
very
he
true.
knew as his
Holy
mother
shit.
is dead. That person no longer exists.
My
This is
god.
a big theme
Oh,
that comes
wow.
up in ReZero.
My
Right? Like
fucking god.
if the memories of that person are gone and that person's memories are gone, that person is dead. That
Yeah.
person no longer
That
exists.
makes it even more painful because we were talking about the thing with Frederica earlier. So she'd be like, "Oh yes, it's my mom," and then she'd go, "Actually, I don't know who you are."
So this is kind of like a... Oh, sorry, go ahead, Jace.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I think it's a little more complicated than that, Wolf, because it does like say that when they were explaining about what happened to Rayala after Garrick found her, it was that no matter what, she never thought of herself as unfortunate, and that is the same way she was. She
Oh, no,
never
no,
thought
no,
of
no.
herself
Yeah.
as unfortunate when,
No,
earlier when she actually
what I
had her
mean that-
memories.
What I mean that
So I
person
think
is dead,
it's
that version of themselves, if that makes sense.
Oh,
Because this is a thing we see with Krush as well, right? Even though she's had her memories taken, like there are some parts of her that are still the same, that are just a part of her. If
yeah,
that makes
I
sense.
think that's just what I'm saying, is that it's not entirely like clear. Like, are they the same person? Are they not? And I think that's the question.
Well, it's more
Tape
it's like
is presenting
ambiguity,
to us.
right? Yeah.
So it makes it more painful if you think about it. I was wondering because their youngest son's name is Fred. It's also like I'm guessing the kid's gonna look something like Garth if it ever becomes in the anime, right? I almost want to. I don't know if I want to think about the fact that maybe she had some. I don't know who named the child. It just seems very ironic in a sad way that the child's name is Fred, and then this kid kind of acts more like Garfield. It's like both of her children are in that one little kid that they have right there, and she wouldn't know. It hurts. Or at least when I think about
The
it.
whole time Tape was writing this, he was just laughing and suffering. But it was emotional this time.
He was chopping some meat. He was like, "How can I make everyone cry again?"
This time I'm mad I made the bet. I literally said, I was like, she's going to confess the next one. Probably, Chad. Then I said, remember, the name of the daughter might also just be the same name. I need to stop talking when I'm cocky. That's what I need to stop doing. That's what I have to do.
Lightning reads the wiki. Not JK.
Oh, it's painful.
So also, this is a very pivotal live reading for everybody that's still here, because this marks the turning point where we're fully caught up with all the chapters we read beforehand, and now we're going into uncharted territory again from chapter 31 and on. So I'm excited.
Hollow is an anime only
Yeah,
again.
Hollow's going to be an anime only again.
Oh,
to the
yeah.
club, buddy. Back.
Can I mention something?
Sure thing, Pat.
Please do.
Yeah.
Just, I think this isn't going to be ended here. Like, this isn't going to be the last time he sees her, simply on the basis that Garrick works in the city hall, which has now been taken over.
Yeah.
So I feel there's still more emotional depth there, most likely.
Oh my god.
Even more
Pat,
suffering.
Why should I save
Here's
you?
a question,
You're not my
too.
mother anymore.
You think Garrick figured it out? Because it felt like he...
No, he did.
It felt like he... Yeah, I was going to say, it felt like he knew.
Well,
He just didn't
not
say anything
not
either.
exactly. I just feel like he knows that there's a connection, but
Yeah, he knows that
Yeah.
there's a reason why. Like, he knew that Garfield knew him or her from before
This
she
short
was.
blonde kid with green eyes going up to my with the same kind of sayings. That was the worst part too. She does the sayings stuff. She does the
Yeah.
hand thing like Frederica does, and then she does the saying stuff like Garfield. And
It's exactly
it's pain.
as the narrator said that was the worst part for him when he heard her saying,
I'm sorry,
because he realized that that's where he got it from.
It's just so painful.
I
There's
will
so
bring
many
up-
painful scenes.
I will bring up
Go
one
ahead.
more thing, since I am now completely going in not knowing what the fuck's about to happen. I'm guessing next chapter is just gonna be pure pain. It's gonna wrap up what happened to Mimi and Gar. I swear to God, if they cut here and we go back to another like camp, I'm gonna be pissed. If they like
We're
blue
back
ball-
with Roswell.
Dude, fuck that. I'm gonna be so mad. If we read like the next chapter and it starts with like Julius talking to Subaru or some shit, I'm gonna be so upset, dude. I want to know what happened.
Roswell's like, Ram, that tea you made was amazing.
It just cuts back to the man.
Oh, someone put Sufferika and Sufferil. You guys are so bad.
Well, isn't your favorite character Fred?
Yeah, well, she's my top tier waifu, man. That's just Jesus. There's a lot you can make from her character. Andre, I'm putting you on blast because he gave me like a very, very good perception of the character as well. I don't know if he'd ever talk about that, but he did a really, really good job of breaking down her character. I relate to the character more, which makes it a bit harder for me sometimes when I go into analytics because I just have similar roles in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm an older sibling. I'm usually the one who's really responsible. People don't typically see my negative sides and blah, 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 blah. So when I'm looking at it, I'm always analytical. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, I feel with her. But in this, it's more like now I'm getting a little extra onto the character I enjoy so much. Because that's the one thing I liked about her the most too, was the wholesome optimism. When you get that with she's kind of getting reciprocated love from Petra in this sense, because she's been separated too.
Right.
And the whole entire time she's there, she's usually she seems very optimistic. She seems very positive about the people she's around. She just values those people to the point that she's able to break down certain characters, like Rem, when we see in season 1, where she's like, why are you trying so hard?
Andre
She's
said,
clearly
"Calm
aware
down."
enough.
Andre said, calm down, Lightning Eagle.
Shush!
Lightning.
I'm in emotions. Darn you.
Lightning, did I do Frederica justice? I was so nervous to do her. I didn't know if I did. Okay, good.
Don't
Before
worry.
we
you're
continue
fine.
on, both Cameron and Nick hit up my Discord DMs. They said Super and Nugget were fucking amazing. They're both goats. Also, Hollow, please pass along my compliments to Jace if you can. That track hits as always. Now stop setting up my heart to be ripped out so damn well. Good job, guys. Holy fuck. Great job.
Her voice acting is just
thanks.
so
Yeah,
good.
whoever said that, you're a goat too.
Billy Goat.
We get another set of W's. I just want another set of W's for these two. They did such a good
Spam
job.
my chat.
Amy was such a straight man in this one too, because like before she knows or before she says she knows, it's just like that would be like the reaction of somebody who has no idea what's going on. She would just be there. Yeah, I just love the fact that she didn't pressure, like she wasn't trying to pressure Garf. The moment she saw the opportunity, she said, "Let's go," and then she grabbed him, left him away, and then told him it's just okay, because he wouldn't even let himself cry. Just.
All right, I'm gonna drop an image in the general chat for the VAs. I don't want to say this on stream because I don't want to insult anyone. It's nothing bad or malicious. It's a compliment, but My fucking god. Thank you. Jesus Christ. The support's crazy for these readings.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yay.
Those are some nice words.
Those are some very kind words. Thank you.
Yeah, some very kind words.
Oh. The one thing that... Oh, go ahead.
One.
Can I just say, I was glad that I'm surrounded by blankets for sound. I was able to wipe my eyes quite effectively.
Oh, Pat!
Oh, Pat!
I know Kyle's was trying to keep herself composed, too, during that part. The whole...
Yeah, I practiced really hard. I cried like a little bitch once I muted.
So, I will say, people are asking if the cast reads ahead. I'm going to be completely transparent with you guys. If the chapter absolutely calls for it and there is heavy emotional impact, we are going to practice these chapters. I know you guys are here for my reaction, but at this point, I value the quality of the project more than going in completely blind for certain things. So some
This
chapters...
is the first one I really...
Yeah, some chapters we're going to read ahead before a stream, some are going in completely blind. But that's why Lightning's here. He's always going to be the analyzer.
They have me here just to be like, wow, my feelings hurt, and then we're good. Yeah.
Chapter 42 is going to need practice. Do you want to let them know what we're doing for 42, Wolf?
Yeah, sure. So, a major reason why we got so many artists on this project and why a lot of the funding you guys are putting through these streams is going towards the art is because, seeing as Chapter 42 is a fan favourite chapter of Arc 5, we are going to be doing as best we can to highly produce it. So we're going to have artwork. I believe we're working it so it's going to be a video that's released rather than a stream.
Right. So for those of you who remember revisiting ReZero, if I have the time for it, that's the production quality I'm going for. If I don't, it's going to be images. But I'm going to try to make it as best quality-wise as I can. But I'm going to set it as an instant premiere so you guys can still have the live stream experience. We can have the VAs in chat just interacting. But that's one of the chapters we're going to have to. We might even do the whole set for that reading specifically, which I believe is 39 to... No, it's 40 to 42 or 39 to 42. I can't remember.
Yeah, it depends. At the moment, me and Conda are talking about what art we're going to get for it, and I sent a practice run a while back to Jace, so he can figure out the music. Yeah, that was like 2 weeks ago.
So, the one thing I will say is, from here on out, the monthly goals are going to be literally poured into the illustrations. That's mainly because all of us, myself included, we've realized how big of a project this has become, and we really want to be able to immerse you guys as much as possible. So, yeah, that's what we're going to be putting. We collectively agreed to put it towards these talented group of artists that we've abducted into our Discord server.
Yes, abducted is a very good way to put it.
He's forcing them.
We're not going to get sued.
He's forcing them. They're like, stop. And he's like, keep drawing. And he hits them with money.
It's a very odd way to put it, but okay.
Welcome. There's one last thing I realized, because this scene also mirrors something else. In the break time with Melee, when Garf is... Yep. Garf is there, Melee. What does he tell Melee when she's holding it all in? Because Elsa's gone now. Okay, just let it out. I'm not going to judge you for crying. I don't remember the words specifically. I just know
along
this is
those lines.
Basically.
Yeah, I get what you're... Yeah. Christ.
Yeah. Now it's his turn. Yeah. Hey, I just don't know what you're doing, man. Just trying to punch me in the face with feelings. Jesus, man.
Kami, I don't know how to answer that. Chapter 70 to 73. I don't know when the hell we're reading that. Are those VAs leaving or are those bots? Because I can't.
73.
Well, it's probably not that important if I don't remember it, right?
Well, chapter 73 is important, so that's the one that probably is gonna be.
Yo, did my stream just crash? Okay, no, please don't have a crash today too. I can't handle two in two separate readings. Okay.
Unfortunately, because Arc 5 is between Arc 4 and Arc 6, you will tend to forget some of the more important moments of it, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm going to end up doing is, after me and Kondo sorted out all the pre-production stuff for Chapter 42, I'm going to start reading ahead to check if we need to practice anything in particular for you
I
guys?
will say that if we do end up bringing ahead and practicing, and it is for later chapters like 60 or 70, I understand that we're losing the whole like hollow reaction thing that a lot of people wanted, but I much value more making this a quality delivery than reading a line completely wrong, interpreting it wrong, and not portraying it correctly. Because like today showed what practice can do with that.
To be fair, that would just mean you'd compose your thoughts a bit better too. So it's
That's
not
very
a
true.
terrible thing. Yeah. Versus him be like, wow, he'd be like, I can actually talk about what he wants to talk about.
Well, is there anything else that we really need to cover? Because if not, we can just hang around for 15 more minutes and we can end off stream before my computer crashes again.
Yay.
Kyle's
There are
spamming
two
the
rules for
emote.
Holostream.
I love
The
One,
amount of silence.
stream delay.
Look at that. Look at the sketch that Gear just made.
Gear
Or,
made a
like,
sketch.
the-
I'm gonna cry.
What?
Or like an
Oh,
image.
where is it?
Gear!
Oh my
Holy
god!
fuck.
Oh my god!
Holy shit!
Is that
Oh
from...
my god, Cedric, that's amazing!
Shoot, dude.
Wait, is
It's
that
me.
from a chapter we've read already?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the fight
Yeah, it's
scene.
her
Nice.
walking
Oh my god,
the
I'm
chain.
gonna Cedric, I didn't even
That's
pay
your
you.
fight with
Ha, get
Amelia.
baited.
Bro, that is lit. Literally.
I like how we say we're gonna pay the artist, and Cedric's over here drawing a freaking Picasso painting while we're doing this.
Just for fun. Yeah,
Cedric's
it's called
just
passion.
trying to get payment.
You guys got him passionate, man.
He's
That's how it
demonically
works.
inspired.
Oh,
You
Jesus
are
Christ.
demonically inspired!
Yeah, look at chat. Look at that.
I like how it started out like genuinely like
that
random, and it
delivery?
just edged into Kyle's.
Look at that image.
If you-
My lord.
This is it's really good. Like that's a really good image.
Okay, I will say this, Thomas Smith. There's no way in hell we're getting Harusabin to do anything for us.
Harusabin is very difficult to approach, unfortunately.
If I use one thumbnail, well, even using her image as my PFP might garner a strike. I don't know. But I know that they're very reluctant for people to use their artwork with or without credit.
Mm.
Yeah, Gear drew that during this stream. What?
No, it's still a sketch. Cedric, shut up! It's amazing.
It's free. If you don't
Cedric.
stop talking
Oh my
smack
Christ.
about yourself as an artist to artist,
Put
I'm
him in
gonna
the
say
timeout
no.
corner.
You did a good job.
What are you talking
Suck
about
it.
yourself?
You did a good job. No.
Better than a good job. That's freaking.
There's a freaking action scene.
Oh
Are you
my God.
crazy? You know, all that takes?
Somebody
That's a
just
flex if that's a
someone
sketch.
just
What the hell?
DM'd me and they said, "Hey Hollow, did I hear fan art proceeds to empty bank account?"
Yeah, someone in quotes.
No,
Oh, boy.
it's not Sleeping Bag or Azir. I haven't talked to this person in a long
Oh, it's
time.
not?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll keep
Okay.
you anonymous for now.
Oh my gosh. We have a lot of really passionate artists in the ReZero community. That's been really cool.
This whole project turned into like a little shits and giggles fest with me and Wolf to a full blown fucking production. This is
kind of
crazy.
moving the
How'd that
what's the
happen?
word? The community a bit. Yeah.
Somebody suggested we switch over to. I wonder who.
Yeah.
Gold. Yeah. Oh, dude.
Someone said, "Take the compliment." Yes, take the freaking compliment.
Cedric, I swear it. Get in the call and we can all like compliment you right now.
Yeah, we're
Get
all
in here so I can praise you.
amazing.
Compliment you and give you all the praise.
We're gonna
And
hammer
money.
you with so much you'll die from embarrassment.
You're gonna be like Subaru.
Post it at
Come
Twitter.
let
I'm
us love
retweeting it.
you.
Join us, I suppose.
Is your username not Beatrice?
Yes, it is. Should be other lolly.
She is my
Oh my god.
spirit
You're
now,
right.
Other
Subaru.
ancient lolly.
Wow, Kiki's just playing all
True.
the 400-year-old.
Cedric, get in here so I can praise you.
Other
I don't want to
400-year-old
join.
Fixed it.
Oh my god.
Nose will be smothered.
Cedric will do art lessons.
Oh,
Yo,
Chad,
I'll look at those.
I want to ask you something. So, this is going to cost a shit ton of money. But
Love that
but-
disclaimer.
you know how
Disclaimer.
there's like always art at the ending or beginning of every ReZero season with the entire cast like saying that they have a new season announced or like a thanks for watching thing. Would you guys
Yeah.
want that for Arc 5 when we finish these readings as like a celebratory stream after we're done? just to have like artwork like that we can showcase for all of you.
Do you mean like
Yes.
a poster, like a
Yes.
Arc 5 poster? Okay. I mean, sure. I mean, that'd be cool.
That'd be very cool.
Master Nick just DM'd me on Instagram or Discord. I DM'd you this on Twitter a while ago, but please thank all the VAs for all their work on the Arc 5 readings. They're doing an absolutely amazing job at what they're doing. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Aw, thanks.
Thank you. Wholesome.
Thank you. Thank you,
Means a lot
even
to
though
hear
I
that,
haven't really been here for most of them.
You're a part of this.
You're
You're a royal candidate.
You've been here longer than I have. Thanks for my 5 lines. Appreciate it.
Part of the crew. You
This
are a
is-
homie.
These
Yeah.
streams went from us like having like horrid audio issues, horrid like reading, mainly me, to being a really good thing. And God, I look forward to this every
Yeah,
week.
it's
I'm
been-
not gonna lie. This is like
yeah,
the
this is the
highlight.
thing I look forward to every week. Yeah.
Upload a video, Wolf.
Maybe I will,
Please,
baby.
Wolf.
Maybe I will.
Wolf, I want to hear it. I want to hear your discussions. Freaking do it.
Okay.
I'll fucking do it again.
I'll fucking do it again.
Oh man, I think we could use some more. I mean, outside of how the ReZero stuff is on YouTube, but we could just have people doing like discussions and podcasts. I feel like people miss out on like how interesting it is just to hear people talk about your character from your perspective. It doesn't need to be perfect.
Yeah.
Just talk. We just want to hear what you think of a character. You're gonna have a different perspective because you relate to the character in a different way than we do.
Yo,
It doesn't
okay.
matter if it's not wordy. Yeah.
Mass for Alligator Man, I don't think you understand, dude. All right, so there's 50 characters in Arc 5. Money is not anything when it comes to this project at all. I will
This
give
is
the
the
whole
Hoshin
month
company.
to it. The whole
Hoshin
month
company.
donation.
Donate to the Hoshin Company.
Donate to the Hoshin company. Thanks,
Cedric
Purple.
wanted to draw that image to promote the stream on his Twitter, but it took longer than an hour. Oh, Cedric!
Somebody
still
told me
do
to
it.
make a Pandora impression. I do not know. Give me.
Oh, can we show off
Rashi.
can we show off Willow's cute little
Her
serious as well?
serious.
Kawaii serious?
That
Can't
makes
wait.
me.
We need to show
I
that.
hate it because that makes
We
me like
get it.
serious.
We get it, like the ones we were talking about yesterday. Oh shoot, I've not seen this.
Okay, give me a sec. I need to go abduct it from its home.
I need to go abduct it.
Freak.
He loves that word. It's his favorite.
I want to give Sirius a hug if he doesn't kill me.
It gives off like a, ooh, can I please control you? Thank you.
Stop!
Oh god.
Oh my god, it's so big.
Else, it has to be your line if you ever just start streaming yourself. You'll take over the world.
Oh no, this makes me like Sirius though, and I don't like Sirius, but this is too cute.
The mummy.
Like some, you
Oh, Willow.
Mommy.
It's adorable.
Oh my
Shout out
God.
to Willow. My god.
Oh yeah.
Great job,
Oh
Willow.
shit. $25 from Nick Tram, who just says okay. Okay, what?
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay.
She's so
I want to make this a wall
Just
scroll.
shy, chat.
Yo, Willow, if you're listening to this, can you make kawaii Olsen Archbishops? I'll buy posters for all of them, no cap.
Oh my god.
And
Ooh,
this is-
Beetlejuice, I think I like you.
Ooh,
Oh,
my brain
no.
trembles.
I'm in pain.
Wembo,
I'm in
so
so
hard.
much pain.
Yes.
What would Pandora be? Pandora would just be herself at this point.
Subarashi.
That's true.
Subarashi.
Oh, that's very nice. Clap, clap,
My
clap.
god. Oh my god. No.
That's so good.
Who did that?
That was purple.
Purple.
That was purple. Yeah.
Wow.
That's why I
Holy
said
shit.
That's why I said his range is fucking crazy.
Purple's range is like really far.
Dude, imagine, you know how they have that one fan art of all the Synarch bishops and like it's oh wait, is that spoiler artwork actually? Can I put that? No, I can't. Damn it. We should do it like that with kawaii.
Everything's a spoiler in ReZero, even
Oh
the
my
past events.
Also, thank you for all of you for coming out to this stream. 242 concurrent, 200 plus since we started. You guys are nuts. Nutty. I could do that image with all characters for free since
No.
No, free. That's a lot of work.
What's the
Yeah,
point?
yeah.
What's
No freeness.
What's the point of me promoting for people to donate if you're gonna do it for free? There's
Say
no.
it, give me that fucking money.
Let
Let
him
us
do
pay
it, and then pay him.
No. As an artist, I have to
Let
actually
us
disagree
pay
on that one. You need to be paid for that.
Wait, hold on,
okay,
hold on.
don't sell yourself
Purple
short.
needs
As an
to.
artist,
Agree
you need
to
to
it.
pay for your work.
Purple needs to say it. He has the most assertive voice here.
Say it, Granddad.
Let us pay you.
Oh
Already.
shit!
Oh shit!
If you don't listen to
Allow
that
us to
voice,
grab
then
that
who
total
would you
Said
listen
it. He
to?
has
Money.
to let himself get paid.
Vaughn, Australia, he's gonna.
You know what's
exactly
funny?
well.
Whether he wants it or not, I have his PayPal.
Exactly.
Excellent.
I
Hollow
will
is
make
literally
you
going to
money. You like it or not?
Wait, what?
say that.
Tactical payment delivered.
What were you saying, Gold?
I was gonna say, Hollow's literally going to be like asking everyone, "Hey, can I pay you money?" And everyone say no. He's like, "I've literally made like $5,000, and I just want to pay you
Hollow
guys."
sounds like one of those Instagram sugar daddies that's always trying to like.
Oh my god! Stop!
Let me pay
I'm
you.
leaving live.
Hey there, do you need some help?
Oh,
I can give you
Cedric.
$50.
my free gift cards giveaway? Like the
All I need,
subscribe to
is
the
talk to
channel.
me. I don't need anything else. Other than
If I
that.
spin
We just
this
need
fidget spinner
conversation.
on this Minnie Mouse for 5 seconds, you guys have to smash the like button.
No.
Okay, guys?
No.
No.
He's gone, and I don't want to see him again. No. Oh my gosh, I forgot he existed.
How am I greedy? I've tried to give money to everyone in this call.
Also, ironically, Hollow, your chat is just mimicking you. When they give you money, you go, no! And now they're going, okay, Dad, I'm going to listen to what you do.
Oh
And
god, it's because Sirius is on screen. They're relaying my emotions to them, but this is too cute to
It's
take
true.
off. Christ.
And that is love.
No, it's not.
It's like that old
Oh,
anti-drug
no.
commercial.
I
I
know
learned it by
other love is
watching
more
you.
perfect.
He will always be sleeping bag sugar baby.
Can we not bring this up,
That's-
please? Nick, I'll block you on
what?
Discord.
Oh my gosh.
Goodness gracious.
For those of you that don't know, sleeping bags given like 2,500 of our total amount.
See that big bar up there, chat?
Yeah.
Just write sleeping bag on it.
It's
There you
dead
go.
ass.
A bag
my
full of
gosh.
burgers.
You know, this is I actually like these post-discussion streams a lot. Not gonna lie, like doing this after we read. But sometimes we drag it out way too long. But we're getting the flow better with all of
We
us.
do.
Hell yeah!
It's really just a casual conversation between everyone
Pretty much.
reading, basically. Sometimes it devolves
The only way I
from
can
like actually
recover.
being about ReZero, but it's fine because it's fun. If everyone here,
Sorry.
we still have 200 people watching us talk about random stuff. That's fine.
Somebody just put holographic 1 week from now. Free Wi-Fi anywhere you go. Yeah, it's gonna 6G. It's gonna come out. I'm not that rich, guys. Come on. Sugar daddy, stop! Please don't make
I'm
this a
sorry.
thing.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
Please.
start
Oh my
that.
God.
I'm just so
Yep.
tired.
You got to be so careful what you say to a chat, because they'll just run with it.
It's
Never
gonna
stop.
stick
The
with
only
you forever
person.
now, Hollow.
Oh my. Oh, I'm.
You're
I
gonna
am.
be a sugar daddy for
Ah.
life.
Oh my God. Nugget, close your ears.
Julie.
You're still in the call, please. Hi, Nugget. You're right below me too. I'm terrified. Are you still here? Please no. Oh no!
It's more cheeseburgers.
It doesn't look good that I just bought a new mic for her either.
This is how your boyfriend gets money, by the way.
She knows. She's well aware.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Subscribe to
Oh,
Nugget's
gosh.
mukbang channel if she ever makes one. The mic that she just got is more than capable of doing it.
Cheeseburgers.
I will subscribe if she makes fun of you for about an hour, please.
Oh, this
God.
showed up in your YouTube recommended, Andres. Welcome. We just finished reading
Wow.
3 chapters. Stop. I will time you out if you keep spamming that basic demolition, please. I know that you come to most of my streams, but please don't spam that. I will time you out. Okay. Hugs and kisses. All right. What else can we bring up about this project or about this chapter? I think we're just discussing at this point.
We're just vibing, you know.
We're just vibing. I don't even know if there's music playing anymore. My internet crashed on my end, so I disconnected for a bit, and now I can't hear the bot.
Out of all the Synarch bishops, who would you want to most be friends with if you had to be friends with one of them?
Really?
Probably.
Yeah, I know, right?
This is kind of easy. I'd probably pick Betelgeuse. He's like freaking.
Betelgeuse before he became crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously.
No, I'm talking about no. We're talking about crazy forms.
that's
Oh, either
cheating.
way, I would
That
do.
is cheating.
If I could hear Kitsune.
You see the Isekai Quartet when
When
him
he
and
made
Albedo were
yeah,
making
chocolate.
yeah, exactly. I was like, Albedo's one of my waifus.
I
Heck
think
yeah, he can
one
tell
of,
where I'm
one of
good.
the saddest parts of Isekai Quartet is whenever you pan to Subaru and something has triggered his PTSD, and he just sits there silently, and whatever character's like casually talking, and his eyes look so fucking traumatized.
Oh god, somebody put Daggy holographic. I made an OnlyFans as a joke, and people tried to already subscribe to it. So I deleted it.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
He did, yes,
Yes,
he
I
did.
did.
Yes.
I think it was called
Shamefully, he
it was
did.
called like holographic fantastic or something, and 3 people tried to pay me money with no content on that page.
Sound like a terrible stripper name. Wait,
Get
look up
Nugget
that
for cheeseburgers.
holographic fantastic.
I told Nugget that I made one. She's like, "What?" I was like,
You did what now?
Oh, you need to stop jeopardizing your relationship. That's what you need to stop
"Bro, the only thing I was gonna post was like 1 foot picture, and I would probably get like
Hey, you tell him,
$50,000."
Oh, only one foot picture. Okay.
You should ask her if that foot's hers. Yeah, what's wrong with you? You ask.
Hey, foot.
Foot.
A foot. Just the
Something's
foot.
a foot.
Dude, I made a $99 tier on my YouTube channel, and I deleted it. And Sleeping Bag and Azir are both like, "Bring it back, we want it." And I'm like, "Why? Why?"
What? Just a tier.
Oh, okay.
The only perk was joining the live
They
readings.
just wanna
and They're
flex.
like, "We're on the server. We
Yeah,
just want to flex." And I'm like, "Dude, that's literally $12,000 or $1,200 a year. What the fuck?"
Hello, I'm gonna have to go. Chat, you've been great.
See ya,
My
Lightning.
poor Frederica. I'm gonna go catch y'all later.
Are you
I
streaming?
stream
Bye,
Genshin.
Are you streaming today?
Bye.
See you later.
Today?
Yeah.
No, I stream Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays. That's how that works every
okay,
time.
Cool.
Yeah, no problem.
Have
Hey,
a
catch
good
y'all later.
one.
Peace.
Hollow, do you hate getting money so much? What the fuck do you think? I screamed at a 50 donation 2 months ago and at the double 500 last weekend. I don't not appreciate it, but it's just not expected, if that makes sense. It's well appreciated.
Yeah. Man. That series
I
is so
love-
cute, as people in chat are
Literally,
saying.
this is the only image of Sirius I think I'll ever like.
Come on,
It's
look at her.
adorable. It's so
adorable.
kawaii.
It's very uwu. I would
wanna
almost
give her a
commission
hug.
this as a streamer version, just so that we have Capella streamer
Aw.
already. So we might as well have this one.
Do you think Sirius hasn't taken a bath in like a year?
Oh
or
my
something?
god,
He
no!
looks like he hasn't.
I don't.
Why?
Oh wait, has
Crusty
she even
bandages.
taken off those bandages?
We're
Oh,
just
I know,
a
right?
dedicated team that rewraps her like every morning.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I literally had to. I had to say it. I know people wouldn't have liked it. But
I mean,
had to
it's
say
a
it
lot
'cause
more
that was
tame than
thought
the
they
shit
did
that people sent me yesterday after the reading when Jace's
Oh,
debut
God.
happened. Why do
Oh,
you guys send me
God.
hentai? Why? I will block you.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, good thing about Sirius is nobody seems to be simping over her. So you know, that's
She's
good.
safe for now.
Oh no!
Yep.
No!
No.
Oh my god,
Ugh.
dude. I think that if we get more like artwork like this of Sirius, if we get artwork like this of Liliana, I might even hate Liliana a little less. But it's a long shot.
I didn't realize that was a bad joke.
It was a bad joke.
Even Wilhelm's disappointed in you, Hollow. How do you feel?
Everyone's disappointed in me at this point. What's the difference?
Oh
I'm
no!
not disappointed,
I'm
man.
not disappointed in you.
I think Pat's
I
the
can
only
never be
one that
disappointed in you.
isn't. Reinhardt can't be
I
disappointed.
think you're a fucking legend, man.
Aw.
Yeah, but that's because you're built different.
Oh my god.
Oh, Purple just cuts down Hollow's
so
hope.
people have been suggesting stream ideas to me with the VA cast. Are we still doing that D&D stream gold later on sometime?
Okay, so if you actually want me to start preparing for that, I definitely can because I'll just.
Well,
do
it's
it.
months in advance. It won't be anytime soon. It'll be like
Yeah,
during the
I
break.
mean,
fun as
yeah.
fuck.
It does sound
Yeah.
fun, so I mean, I'll start working on like the settings, maps,
A
stuff like
lot
that.
of
if you want me to.
people, a lot of people were suggesting we do like a game show edition again, but have the cast as the hosts, and that call is gonna be chaotic as all hell if we do that.
Yes.
Like we do another Kahoot game show, but we have Arc 5 questions, and the whole cast, or maybe 4 of us, are just like the announcers, maybe the 4 royal candidates or something. I don't know.
Oh.
Jackbox, Jackbox, Jackbox.
Real candidate announcers? That sounds like fun.
Oh, you got the answer wrong. That's okay. Next one you'll get right. Gets the whole quiz wrong. Emilia's trying to encourage.
R5 Tree and Party Jackbox. Let's go.
How do you
I
work
do feel
this
like a
game?
D&D campaign with Subaru would be like the most
Jackbox
painful thing
Purple, We
ever.
can play it if you want to.
Well, the thing is, right? We can either do like D&D campaigns with the actual characters, or we can make our own characters, which makes sense. and
Oh my
just do
god,
it
I
in
can
the
kill
world.
Subaru.
Oh, we could set it in the world of ReZero.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
guess.
That's what I was
Would
thinking
that be
because it like makes
spoilers
sense.
or no?
That'd be so
Saying, like,
fun.
Reinhard would be like, unfair to everyone else.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
reason why I
that's
have
true.
to
Practical
months ahead,
nukes
just so
aren't
we'd be on
cool.
the same page, right?
People are suggesting we roleplay after we end the chapters.
Always.
It's hard for me to roleplay as serious. You know how it is. It's fine.
All I'm gonna do is be clowning on Subaru. That's it. That's all I'm capable of doing.
And all I'm going to be doing.
All I'm gonna be doing is sipping over
Oh,
roll.
God.
That's all. That's all I'll be able to do.
You're gonna have.
That is a sentence
Oh
that's
my
going to
God.
echo throughout my skull for my entire life.
My lovely Peter. My lovely Subaru.
I can't believe you're into necrophilia, Subaru. What? What's
Oh
happened
my
to you?
god.
No.
What? No, he's
Julius,
still
don't stop.
live and breathing.
Well, I'm just like, who wants tea? Oh, okay, chat. Let's do this for a little longer. I know I said we end off earlier. If you guys have any questions, we'll answer that for a bit, and then we're gonna end stream. I want to end stream without my computer crashing for today.
Yeah, just give us
Yeah.
some questions.
People have
Give us some
suggested a Q&A
questions.
stream with the cast, but again, that's very difficult to do, which is why we're doing the interviews
That's a big one.
instead, one-on-one.
You can always.
Who's the next
Oh,
interview?
is
Do
it
you know?
becoming a series?
Right now, I'm trying to work it out because this week and next week are like my finals period. So after that, I'm gonna be making a schedule and releasing it month by month.
Ooh.
I'm gonna also be cosplaying as Roswell apparently, cause
I can't wait.
we got $1,000 donation.
He, the Lord of the
My
Manor.
apartment now.
One day, me and you, Hollow, we're going to cosplay Julius and Subaru, and I'm going to kick you in the balls IRL.
You're shorter than me.
I know, that's the point.
Wait, how short are you?
Like
Wolf
5'6".
is 5'6". I'm 5'8".
We're the same height.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I haven't measured my height in a while, though.
I mean, I don't know what centimeters that is, but I know Mizu's a fucking giant. Oh wait, Purple, how tall are you?
Mizu is a giant.
5'7", going to
Oh.
5'8". Yeah.
Somebody said the OnlyFans again. You don't have to post anything lewd if you don't want. Just give us some more money.
Just donate to the stream. There's a link to Streamlabs pinned. Just
Cool wink. Yeah, there's literally ways to
I
donate
ain't
him
showing
money.
my feet for free.
Yeah, but it's more fun to donate to OnlyFans. You know.
No, they take
Just
a
because
percentage.
it sounds like, yeah, I've donated to OnlyFans.
Yes, because you
what
have to
up?
write that on your taxes. OnlyFans income.
You think my parents are gonna be happy when they're like, "Oh, where'd your income come from?" And be like, "OnlyFans." What did you post? Nothing.
Hey man. Nice. Yeah.
Call of the witch happened.
I have not cosplayed as Minerva yet. No.
Your dad closes the door. Son, we need to have
My
a
parents
discussion.
watch some of these streams.
Oh.
Oh,
That's
no.
so
Are they
nice.
Arc 5 readers?
They've
Do
watched
they
season
already know
1 and
what's gonna
season
happen
2
in
with
Arc 5?
me before.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, that's true. I've heard of that.
So-
Yeah.
What? I wish my parents were like
My
that.
dad's into like
Sounds so
conspiracy
chill.
theory, so like when he was watching ReZero, he's like me on steroids. Like he would theorize about everything and anything, and it got a little
You'd
irritated.
be like, I wonder what this is about.
It's like,
Wolf cosplays Liliana.
Yes.
Wolf.
Can I do Pirate Subaru?
Wolf,
What?
Yeah.
if you cosplay as Wolfiana, I think that no one will ever be able to hate Liliana again. You're gonna.
Yeah.
Okay,
Too precious.
Wolf will need to like be paid like $10,000.
I don't even have that kind of
like,
money,
that
my guy.
appears
Who
alone.
you think I am? Sleeping bag?
Yeah, not yet. Not yet.
If the
but soon
cosplay
enough.
gets to me somehow, I'll make it work. I'll make it.
Oh, Swoljita with the $5. The serious art is so good. Thank you, Swoljita.
doesn't like Liliana like wear like shorts and
Yes.
like doesn't she have
Yes.
like
Yeah,
Okay.
she's a
Actually, if you give
Discord
her
mod's wet
measurements,
dream.
Wolf.
So you better start not skipping leg day anymore.
no meat on her at
all
all.
I ever do.
They give me.
Lily Twig.
All I'm going to
like-
say is I don't mind posting pictures of that cosplay, but I'm
Wolf,
never
you
going
gotta
out
spray
in
tan
public
yourself.
in that.
You have to spray tan
I
your whole
know.
body.
Wait, am I going to get cancelled for that?
Yeah.
Hold up.
Oh,
That's not black.
I'm
Oh
the
my god.
whitest man alive.
How would
Wolf,
that be
give me your
blackface?
measurements. I can sew you up a costume.
Dude, same. What the fuck? Same. Kyle's, let's team up.
Yay!
Everyone cosplays as
serious
Liliana.
So does Wolf identify as a lolly?
Yes.
What?
Yeah,
You can't answer that question for me.
Holographic, don't
My
awaken
most
the Reddit
special night.
investigator team. They've tracked lost people in North Korea. I'm well aware what it's like to be doxxed. I'm well aware. There are precautions.
You know,
Oh.
there's a pretty good way to like I think that Sirius's cosplay is not
Just
that
wrap
hard to
yourself in
do.
toilet paper.
Wrap yourself in toilet paper, get the cloak on, and then just get like
you'd have
a
to
wig
get
or
the purple
something.
eye contacts though, and that would fucking
Easy.
hurt.
Go to like a store
I
and
ordered
just get
some of
t-shirts.
those.
People were saying I like how she kills people.
That's true. I would have to wrap chains around my wrists. That's true.
If you cosplay Wolfiano, I might go bankrupt.
At this
Holy
point,
shit.
if the streams make us enough money and COVID fucks off, we just all go to a convention. We just all just none of us look like our characters.
And I don't mind cosplaying as Subaru in public. Not as Liliana in public. That is a no.
Understandable.
Oh,
Dude, how the
all
fuck
I'm
am I
saying
supposed to
is-
cosplay as
Costume under the
Capella in
Subaru.
public?
Oh,
Yeah, that is
Make
impossible.
you-
Sorry,
How do I
Capella.
explain that to my parents?
You can
We'll
just
make
wear
you
a
an
sign that
offer.
says "Hi, I'm Capella."
Oh, by the way, everyone who was simping over Capella and also Jace's voice, got to remember that he's a 15-year-old boy.
Oh, you
right?
told them no.
I told them.
Oh,
like,
you
yeah.
ruined the
Actually, I'm
surprise.
14.
Secret. Oh.
Oh.
14.
That's why
You all got
fucking degenerate.
catfished. You sent me hentai about it yesterday. You fucking degenerates.
Congratulations, you're all going to jail.
Bonk, you're all going to horny jail.
We're all
You-
FBI
You're horny
agents.
Can
FBI-chan here.
can I take
Yeah.
you? Can I take you to
Yo,
jail,
yeah,
Uwu?
If I'm gonna cosplay Garf, I'm cosplaying a 14-year-old.
You need to work the fuck out, Super.
Super, you gotta get
I also
buff
need
as
to do-
fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
Super
Gotta
needs a
get some of
fat
those
8-pack.
Streamlabs.
Kyles.
Hi.
Yeah, someone in the chat wants you to do a pirate voice as a music. Say, I want to be king of the pirates.
Okay.
Kaizoko.
Arr. I want to be king of the pirates. Is that right, Subaru?
EMP.
Arr.
This is the wrong crossover. Please move back to ReZero, please. Wrong crossover.
Why can't I imagine Amelia in a
True
pirate
rubber boy
costume for
not found.
Halloween?
Alright, guys, it looks like we're gonna just end off here. People are starting to dip out and leave. Isn't Gar 15 now? Yeah, sure. Okay, guys, have a great rest of your day.
He is
Thanks for
15,
coming
that's
out.
true.
Yeah, thank you for supporting the stream. Thank you for all the people who donated, all the VAs, everyone for watching, liking, commenting. We'll see you guys in the next live reading, next week, Saturday, I believe. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Johnny, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Sayonara.